Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching in the world. Sean Driver, the Red Horde. Let's pull the microphone closer as we get ready for this one, joining a whopping 4 minutes early because we have some time to do it. No Who Are You series, but Rotherham United hosting Wrexham AFC. And this is a fascinating one. Jinping's doctors in the house. Mertlin's there already. Nice to see you guys signing up and joining in early for the discussion and the layout as to where everything is with this one. Brendan joining me as always, the producer who's saved so much time and energy, which has been necessary over the last a couple of weeks with the home purchase, the sale, the packing, the renovations, and the madness that continues in our life as we hopefully once we get to November 8th things settle down. But right now we're in the midst of it. Our house is gutted and the one that we're living in is full of boxes, but it's some interesting stuff going on personally in my life. This one, we're talking about the Millers, Rotherham. I would have loved to have been at this game in South Yorkshire, close to Doncaster, where my wife is from, and the home to where my aunt-in-law, Auntie Juice, is. And so even though her husband was a Sheffield Wednesday fan, I know New York Stadium, at least from the outside. And interesting stuff. Hello, Dance Nation, joining from Scotland. Kim's in here. Crawley, Brendan, how are you? We'll get to the big stories as we go through the roster. But how's things in Massachusetts and in your life? And
everything's good for me. Same old. I'm just excited to get to another Saturday. I'm excited because then we got the Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, so it's not these long gaps in between. I guess now with injuries, which we're going to be talking about, having all these back-to-back games is not the ideal timing, but it's fun as a fan to watch.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We might as well just jump into the story, and I'm glad to hear everything's right. I would like the Tuesday, Saturday to give a little bit of break. It would have been nice if it comes probably a week from now or 2 weeks from now, as we're in the throes of freeing up time. But this is still the thing that gives me a lot of joy and a lot of happiness, and so I'm going to be here doing my thing because I enjoy A, the club, but B, the community of people who, when you see Jinping's pox doctor join and you think today's going to be a good day. And you've got David's joining us, W&G. Kim's with us as always. And highlighting that Peterborough snuck up Wickham, now joins Wrexham on points after games played. Who would have thought that after the first game of the year? And how things
you just
started.
Said, based on our chat, the comment of the match is going to be quite competitive, right?
I'm running through the names that are here, and I'm expecting some whoppers. Yeah, for
David,
sure. And he thinks of the Bee Gees whenever he thinks of Massachusetts. The big news. I don't know how, but the rumors started to come out on Twitter and through Discord and through other channels of Mr. Marriott on crutches. And people started to panic and get a little worried. And then people started to hear that it involved a break. And people got louder and people got worried. And now the rumor is that it's going to be 4 months out with a break. And I don't know if it's in his foot. I don't know if it's an ankle. I don't know if it's in like multiple like metatarsals. I don't know what the deal is. But those are the rumors. Confirmed today when you get the starting lineup. And rumors that Mullen and Fall double-teamed Marriott in training. David Wood with the comment of the match early. Rumors that Mullen and Fall double-teamed. So I have no way to corroborate that story. Speaking like my kid.
They gave him a Dobson. Several hard tackles until he went down.
He went down, yeah. So interestingly enough, hey, Sandy, how are you? Did the Wrexham run? Did the podcast with Racecourse Ramble that went over exceptionally well? I saw the comments and all that sort of stuff. So nice to have you joining us for this one. The other interesting story. So that's our leading scorer out. On the flip side, you look over to Rotherham and you go, I wonder how they're doing. Out of all of the players that have started for them, there's really, other than one change that happened 4 days ago, Dawson is in goal. Sheffield Wednesday keeper last season. He took over after the Rotherham lost to Birmingham 2-0, and then he drew back into the lineup. Started. He'd only had 2 EFL Cup matches, and so he's been a new face. Rotherham has gone not undefeated. They've gone without a loss since he's joined in the last 4 games. But their leading scorer, Johnston Clark-Harris, he's out. So both teams without their starting goalkeeper, their leading scorer, Clark-Harris, injured himself, celebrating a goal against his old team, Peterborough United, scored with the right foot, turned quickly to go left to go and celebrate, and did something to his left leg. And so he's out with an injury. So this could be a low-scoring one, and let that influence your score results if you think that that's a concern, as both teams will be relying on somebody else. As someone who's visited the New York Stadium, it makes you feel a bit weirded out that I know the New York Stadium, or I also know it because obviously for North Americans, when we hear New York Stadium, I wouldn't assume it to be in Rotherham. Maybe that's just me. It makes sense. It's in York, South Yorkshire. Well, not York, the city, South Yorkshire. So it makes sense, but I get it. Hey, Ruth, how are you? Nice to see you and have you here. Brendan, with the announcement that Marriott's out, Mullins in, what are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as well as Marriott was playing, obviously we don't want him out, right? And I know everyone tells you that Mullen is the better player, but it's just really frustrating to see both of these, the last 2 seasons, this current one and the previous one, and getting injured and having a hard time starting. You know, it's tough to watch. We don't have any time for him to build back up. This is what I would have thought is one of the more tougher stretches in our season. The Rotherham, Huddersfield, Charlton kind of block here. And yeah, now's not the time for a struggling Mullen. He's got to come in and he's got to be focused, and he's got to start scoring and being effective like Marriott was. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to have an added little bit of company just because we've been packing, and my wife is knocked out, and I don't want to wake her. So you're going to be quiet, right? Yeah. Okay, good. So I'll put him there. Depth is always a thing. We know that we've got it. You don't want to see injuries, especially to your leading scorer. Do I think immediately that there's a massive issue? No, because I believe that Mullen is a capable goal scorer who's going to find himself. He's just got to find himself a little bit earlier. And so a little bit of pressure put on. I kind of like the idea. If Merritt comes back and he ends up banging the rust out and all that sort of stuff, and I get the frustration, it's now, where are we? But I feel like we'll be okay. But man, you start to look at things and you go, okay, Falls into the lineup. What happens if there's an injury? Now our depth is really challenged, and now we're in trouble, right? Because if we end up with a starting lineup where we're choosing between Mo Fall and Fletcher up front and Palmer, because we don't have either Marriott or Mullen, or heaven forbid, we've got to go out and terminate a loan and bring in, I guess it'd be Bickerstaff, but maybe it could be Billy Waters. I mean, that's nightmare type stuff to be talking about. So I don't even want to put it into the universe. I'll stop talking about it.
We didn't even talk about the fact that they signed Palmer for a couple of years. I mean, I understand just because you sign a guy doesn't mean you're forced to play him. And I'm not saying that Palmer hasn't been good this year. Just thinking, if you were to go up, is he a championship player? I don't know.
And I never heard the terms of it. I would assume that it's one of those deals that's probably helpful and healthy for both sides as far as his tenure and potentially his transition, right? Because I think Rob and Ryan have been friendly there. A couple of questions that have gone through here. Brian asked where we're watching it. It's on Paramount in the US, as far as I'm aware. And
it is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's on iFollow. The only match that's coming up is Harrogate was picked up for the FA Cup. So that'll be helpful. That I believe in the US is on ESPN. It's on in Canada on Sportsnet. But even when it's picked up on TV last year, I ran into a problem that doesn't necessarily mean that Sportsnet picks it up. So we'll do the scramble if we have to do the scramble to be able to watch that one. Why isn't Rathbone starting? That's a fascinating question, isn't it, Brendan? Because that one's on form, I think. I don't think it's injury. And so, and how are you in California? But Rathbone not starting, I think that's just not being able to displace Cannon and the offense that he ends up kicking out. The other thing that I should mention is the other surprise that was on the roster, and you identified it, is on the bench, Bolton instead of Mendy. Revan being there, he can go both sides, but Bolton.
I was wondering about that. I thought I thought they like Mendy so much, and they seem willing to put Mendy in multiple positions. So you'd think. I haven't seen them bring in Bolton at anything other than right wing. So, and based on his size, I mean, he's going to be kind of limited in a lot of different areas. So, to think that you're putting Mendy, out of the game and leaving him on the bench, interesting to me.
I forgot. David, I identified he's on international duty with Gambia.
Still though, for how long? I thought that.
But I actually thought I saw him running but maybe that's because of the travel they decided to do it. But yeah, you're right. That window closed, but maybe he just got back into town and they decided to give him the break because of the run. I don't know, but it's all pace on the bench. Michelle, how are you? Good morning to you. And Sam's here.
Hi, Mom.
Everybody checking in. Mom's in there. Oh, that's Michelle. That's your mom. I should have caught that. I was like, your mom's here? Hi, Michelle. It's nice to have you here. Like buttons down below for everybody. Algorithm gods, go ahead and hit that and jump back on it. But yes, all players are back from international duty. John, who is always in the know, able to figure things out. You out of here, bud? Perfect. If you joined late, we've been doing renovations and packing, and the better half was up very late last night and letting me go to sleep. So I've got a munchkin walking around me. So ignore a couple of hiccups as it goes through with this one.
I really like the stadium. I put up a shot of the iFollow feed. I really like that. It's something like this, but bigger. I understand this is only 12,000 something.
Yeah,
but it looks cozy. It looks nice.
I think the same designer went through South Yorkshire and made a whole bunch of stadiums at the same time, because the new keep mode, they call it something else, but in Doncaster is very similar. I like it, but I do find it a little bit boxy and nondescript. This one's different because it does come down in layers. You've got a lower side and a higher side. It's a little bit nicer, but like Keep Mode Stadium is just, if you were to cookie cutter or AI make me a generic stadium with red seats, that's what you get from Doncaster Stadium. So, but everybody's tired. Jason's back. He's jet lagged, and I still owe you some cash because Jason was nice enough to go into the Wrexham shop, and I'm sure Jason has stories. And if we end up losing this one, and Jason, I just want to identify, since you have left the UK, we've lost our leading scorer. So not only did the team light it up, scoring 8 goals, I think it was, while you were over there watching them.
Yeah.
8 goals while you were over there. When you left, you pulled the mojo out, and now we're without our leading scorer. So I'm going to blame you if this doesn't turn out well.
Did you get to Jason in time for me?
I did not get to Jason in time for you. I'm a horrible, horrible, horrible person. So I didn't get to those ones. And who's laying on the ground with their hands on their head and has the staff out? I don't like that. No, that's Mullen. That's why I'm sitting there watching the thing. He's taking a couple of deep breaths. Physio came out and just rubbed him on the back and said, I think you're okay. He's talking to some guys. Was that a groin? Oh, yeah, I think he might have taken one to the. Yeah, there. We're watching him get adjusted live on TV.
Well, I get all the good shots.
He clearly took something to the groin, and that'll wake you up because he's taking the deep exhale. But all you see Mullen laying on the ground, crumpled up in the corner, holding onto his forehead and laying there in pain and taking a bunch of deep breaths. I was like, this doesn't look good. Draw my immediate attention to it. See the physio guys go running over there, and all they do is give him a pat on the back and leave him alone. And I was like, well, what's going on? He looks like he's in pain. And he gets up and puts his hands down his shorts and adjusts himself. Clearly evident as to what happened and transpired, but holy nuts. Well done, Nash. So do we go through the lineup just for...
Sure, I'll switch the lineup. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's pretty standard stuff for this one. Future generations of the Mullen clan just got snapped. Just what we need, a Nats break. Not wanking. Oh, man. And for everybody who doesn't have the feed, there you go. That's why you join us right there, because we bring you all of the breaking stuff. We're attentive. We're following along. We just took that one.
John's being helpful, reminding you of your duties as the
on the polls.
On the polls, yeah. Good
that one up.
Suggestion. Super Paul Mullen, number of goals today.
Yeah, let's. I'll cue that one up here, and we'll start a poll while I'm sitting there walking through the lineup. So, par for the course, really. Ogonko in net. In the back line, O'Connell, because we got no Clueworth, and I still haven't heard how long we're expected to have him out. If somebody else in the comments who knows better and has been following along as I've been doing the renovations thing can throw that one out there and let us know. But so EOC will be in his position on the right side, Dan Scar in the middle, TOC on the left. Running down the wings, Ryan Barnett on the right side. It's going to be James McLean on the left, but they've messed up the graphic again, or they've decided to go a little bit sly, but I know it's not going to be Elliot Lee. They've put the wingers together for this one for whatever reason. So Barnett and McLean. And then in the midfield, Dobson, Cannon, and Lee. The only thing that still fascinates me about that is I would have thought Rathbone would displace somebody. But Andy Cannon putting on the good fight and maintaining his spot. And I got no issue with it being merit-based. And the only thing is it's been a while since Cannon scored, and that's really the difference between what he brings.
But every time I've watched Rathbone, I just haven't thought he was threatening. I remember pointing out in one game where he got the ball plenty of space, a little outside the box, and he never turned and looked at goal. There was nobody on him, and he started moving across the field, looking on who he could pass it to swing the ball, basically from Barnett's side all the way around over to McLean. And the fact that he's not at all considering to try to threaten the goal, I think doesn't help us, right? It like their defense can relax while he's got the ball if he's not considering forward going. So
I kind of anticipated that we would never see a lot of offense out of Rathbone. It was always described as a box-to-box guy who struggled to score. I viewed him sort of as a mid between Evans and Dobson, not the hardcore tackler who's going to rip the ball from anybody who it comes close to, and not the savvy positional sort of defensive stalwart who gets you a bunch of interceptions, but sort of in a mix of the two. He was going to be stronger than George in the challenges. He was going to be better than Dobson in potentially reading the play defensively and a little bit more controlled positionally.
That's why you liked him away instead of Cannon at home.
Yes. Yes, and that's where I think he fits, and that's where I think he has a role on the squad, being away and having those things. I don't expect him to do anything up front, and every time he's got close to net, he's looked almost allergic to it.
Yeah.
So, I'm comfortable with what he's provided and where he's at with things. Deandra highlighting that the Wrexham women don't have a game tomorrow. They had the frustrating loss against Barrytown, not the good start to the season, as they're sitting 7 points out of
Don't they have a
fourth place.
game? It's just not in
And I'm not in league, and that's what I'm going to go and check. Is I think they've got the start of their
they do
the Welsh Cup, or it's either the Welsh Cup or the Adrian Cup. I was just going to go and check who that was up against.
Lake Lucko. There's rumors that he may have broken his foot, Marriott. So
yeah, for everybody joining late, both teams without their leading scorers. Clark Harris for them, who injured his left leg, celebrating a goal against his former club. And Marriott, rumor from David Wood, anyway, not real legitimate, was that Mullen and Paul decided to take him out. So, yeah, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Lanniston, I'm not even going to try that. Anyway, they're taking on a team that has a blue and yellow symbol tomorrow, 23 hours and 12 minutes. So that'll be a 6 a.m. start, this 9 a.m. tomorrow. Deandra, if you want to jump on, I'm sure you can. I can't. I am dealing with a gutted house and a whole bunch of madness as we try to get out of here in 3 weeks. That's where John did the copy and paste. So it's in the comments, and I'll let somebody else tell me how to pronounce that. That like button's down below, and before we start and do everything, and do I have the pin somewhere? And I got a message from Bryn, who went to the Terry Fox run, and said that he was wearing his pin, and a whole bunch of people mobbed him and wanted to get a pin. I need to really distribute these things better. But that pin created from Ultimate Promotions, ultimatepromotions.biz, ultipromo.com. If you're looking for pins and soft embed, hard embed for sports trading, for work needs, anything like along those sorts of lines, get in contact with them. Seriously, free artwork, free shipping. They have 48 years of experience. They do a good job. And so if you're looking for those pins, reach out to them. I know it's here. Here it is. There's the pin. And so whether you're looking to get in some of the ones that I've exchanged for, I got the Welsh Cup, I got the London Reds, I've got a button. So have that, swap them out. And if you're looking for badges, if you're looking for fun, those real nice medals that end up being made for running competitions and that sort of stuff, they do those too. So Ultimate Promotions, ultimatepromotions.biz, ultipromo.com. Should have a banner somewhere above one of my head, somewhere that bounces and bangs around during the game. And so thanks for them, because they've been doing this ad free to make sure that there's no interruptions, and we make a little bit of scratch off of it and everybody wins. So yes, where are we here, Brendan? I got distracted doing the promo.
You want to do the table?
Yeah, we can do the table. I should look at it. All I know is Wickham's climbed back up with their changeover and their win today, League One table, so I can see the same thing that everybody else can. Walk through some of the matches that matter. Birmingham playing Lincoln City, so that's an important one, because you've got Lincoln City sitting with a game in hand at 18 points. Birmingham with a game in hand and still ahead of us, so we're trying to chase them down. Wickham comes up to their 10 points, our 10 games played, and they're tied with us and 4 goals behind on goal differential. As I'm making a mess, I will clean that up later.
Charlton Stockport's kind of big too.
Yes, Charlton Stockport, both teams at 9. See, it's an interesting one, because there's lots of teams with games in hand. Mansfield Town, I still don't know what to expect from them. I went through their matches, and I'll do that as a reminder. So they've got Stevenage today, but they've had Blackpool, Crawley, Northampton, Shrewsbury, Cambridge as their last 5 games. And so you're kind of like, well, there's really been nothing in those last 5, but they've taken care of business. But they've got Stockport. Prior to that, they had a draw with Stockport, a 4-1 loss to Lincoln City, a draw with Burton. And so you go through their lineup so far. They're getting into the teeth of things starting, I guess, in 2 weeks. They'll go from Birmingham, and then they'll have us. That they've got Bolton, Huddersfield, Charlton, Rotherham, Peterborough, Reading, all to end up finish off the first half. So that's Mansfield sitting. And I really want to do the Who Are You for that one. But I don't know if I'm going to get the chance, because we play them November 9th, which would be the first day in the new place, and there's just too much going on. But if I do have a Who Are You I really want to get back on for, it's them. Other than that, the League One table, let me bring that back up because I was looking at. So Exeter City, which is, I mean, they're on a bit of a run.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. And there was even a game a little while ago where they were playing and we were like, why would I want to watch Exeter City? It's nothing really there. So they've got Reading today. Or sorry.
No, Tuesday.
Tuesday. Because they played
They played
Shrewsbury on Thursday.
They played,
and they knocked out Shrewsbury 2-0. So they've already taken care of business on their end. And they're up there. Lincoln City, as we said, got Brum, and then Stockport, as you already identified, with Charlton, a big game. So everybody in the top, you've got a couple playing each other. Huddersfield's got the Bristol Rovers. And then once you get past that, Blackpool, Barnsley, Peterborough's already played 12 matches played for Peterborough and sitting at 15 points. Not a good place to be. So Charles Farrell, the whole family is here.
Yeah. Good
stuff. I like this. What's your thoughts as you look around the table just generally? We were, talking about, or I was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, how there looked to be a divide that was forming. And then we went on kind of a 4-game bag of mixed results, win, loss, draw, and now sort of given up that a brief, small little lead that we had. And everybody seems to be pulled up with us. When you look at at the table, anything jump out to you?
Again, I don't know how. I love that a team that we beat, Wickham, that we don't have to face in a while, gets hot after we've played them. Although I didn't think they played bad against us first game of the year, right?
Yeah.
And I love seeing them destroy everybody. Same thing with like Exeter. Like I like these teams going on hot streaks and runs while we're not in their schedule. But I still think the Reading, Charlton, Huddersfield, and Bolton, and probably Peterborough will migrate to the top. Barnsley potentially, Stockport. I'm still worried about those teams, maybe even Lincoln. I'm not particularly worried about Exeter, but I haven't got a chance really to see them play. I'm kind of surprised Blackpool was hot for a while. It still may be, but not sold on them either. So I'm worried about the teams that I thought were very good about. They haven't had their hot streak yet, and when they do, they're going to be all over us in the table. So we don't have a lot of time, even though it feels like we were on just a tremendous start. You don't really have that cushion to not be getting wins. I know it's like you got to, draw away and win at home, and you're most likely be good. But I don't know. I'd really like to see a win here today. A win here and a win at Huddersfield. I think Charlton's going to be tough away. So I'd like to try to get our points today against Rotherham.
Yeah, for sure. It's fascinating to me. I mean, you look middle of the table, Huddersfield, 4 losses in a row that they had. They're 5 wins, no draws, 5 losses, and sitting at 10th. And you compare that to our 6-2-2, and you go, how are we only 5 points apart? But the nature of the beast, it's the one thing that I am still investigating. Maybe it's just an odd season. Maybe it's just the League One compared to League Two. I remember last year there being massive runs of form where teams would go 8, 9, 10 games where they'd go on without a loss, and then all of a sudden the inverse would be true and people would really struggle. And that was sort of our season. We had that long run, a couple of runs, one an away run and one a bit of a healthy run in January where we were struggling. That doesn't seem to be happening here. I mean, you look at the table and other than the teams at the very bottom, and you only see not 8, 9 games runs of form, but rather 3 or 4 game run of form, one way or the other. So it's interesting to see. Maybe it's just because the teams are a little bit deeper, so that they're able to answer their questions a little bit better. I don't know, but Mark Griffiths is in my ear, by the way. If you're following on iFollow, you can in the US, you can get the game on Paramount Plus. A reminder for everybody as they're joining: you're going to get some latency from me as we do it, so back away from the goals and no spoilers and all that sort of fun stuff as we get into it. And Peterborough are a miserable team at the moment, probably all season. And that's the other thing. At what point in time, Brendan, because you were talking about I mean, there's still 36 games ish to be played for people here. But at what point do you start to think we're running out of runway? Like if you're Rotherham, you're sitting at 16th. Yes, you've got points out of the last 4 games. And since you brought in Dawson as your keeper, you haven't lost. But at what point do you start to run out of runway and realize we're just not going to be able to get caught up to the top unless we go on like a Doncaster-like run?
I think at least 15 games in, at that point, you got to at least feel like if you hadn't been scoring well, you figured out why. If, like you had injuries, you didn't have the right formation, guys hadn't gelled yet, whatever it is, you have to, from like 15 on, I would say, really start to start cranking it out so that, you don't have this mountain from mid-season on to make up where you have to be playing two plus points per game, So I would think they got to get it going in the next 2 games, like figure some stuff out.
I'm with you there. The only split that is pronounced is you've got a 5-point gap between 18th and 19th, and that's the bottom 6 teams: Leyton Orient, Northampton, Shrewsbury, Crawley, Burton, Cambridge, who are all. I mean, Cambridge United has their 1 draw so far, -11. I'm surprised Crawley Town 5 losses in a row since they faced us. That's a struggle. Deandra, I think that subject to Brendan saying otherwise, join tomorrow for the second half. Would that work or would that be disruptive? I think that's his call. I'll let him call it. But there he goes. We can give it a shot. So it sounds like I will put that link up there as soon as we finish this one up tomorrow, I'm hoping. And there's David identifying, I recall Millwall being top of the championship at Christmas and getting relegated that year. Yes, and you see that teams will have massive gains. Doncaster did the inverse last year, right? With their massive run. But you have to feel like it's closing in. We're showing the game now. Are you accidentally showing the game, Brandon?
I'm not showing the game because the game's not on. I was showing the feed, yes, so you could see the ones, but I figured we were okay. Sean is the letter of the law, but he doesn't have control, so I sneak stuff up, and then Santiago goes ahead and spills the beans.
Spoils it.
Panic. I push the boundaries, and Sean's like, no, and
I'm waiting for the guy who gets the cease and desist letter and goes, "Oh man, I don't want to have to deal with this." Or
no, then you can deny with total no.
We'll deal with it. Yep, absolutely, 100%. That Brendan guy, I'll have a firm, strong talking to him for whatever that's worth. We're getting close to being underway here. It's been too long, 10 whole days. In between games, and then the run is on now. Tuesday, Saturday. The stadium looks great. It looks like a gorgeous sunny day, far different than the atmospheric river that I'm dealing with here, and I'm envious. It looks like a glorious day for some football, and so I'm excited to get into this one. At least I wouldn't. Who said he's got a good lawyer in his corner? No one should take their own advice. It's like, I don't know. I was giving myself legal advice on an issue yesterday and was like, I'm the wrong guy to talk to. I should probably go and talk to somebody else. But I didn't look up the referee. Still waiting on the Who Are You series because of the move and all that sort of stuff and the panic, which is mass chaos, and trying to make sure I got internet organized for November 9th with the game against Mansfield, which will be the first one I'll have in whatever that room is going to look like in the new place by the time we get there.
Yeah. It's
interesting. Mark says very friendly in South Yorkshire, which I wouldn't have anticipated. I love South Yorkshire, but it's very, they're assertive in Yorkshire. Assertive. And so for Mark to say they're very friendly, they're fascinating stuff. But it sounds like everybody's in a good mood, and we've already got goals. W and G, thanks so much. The poll is there, by the way. How many goals does Super Paul Mullen score? I haven't seen very many score predictions. We're getting close to firing everything up as we're in our blacks today, going from the right to the left, and Rotherham from left to right. And I can do that. There we go. And yeah, we'll get this thing fired up. And we were ready to go underway. Down to EOC to start. And the other thing that we didn't talk about, very similar styles. You look at the statistics just before the match, and here's Barney on the right-hand side, 18-yard box, dancing left, right, towards the goal line, cross into the box. It's right there and scores! Super Paul Mullen. If you hit one, you might want to take your pole back. What was that, 18 seconds in? 18 seconds in? Was that what we were at? I was just going to give the update on, hey, similar styles and what to expect. We're going to go to the corners. We're going to see some crosses, and Barnett goes left, right, beats the man towards the goal with the right-footed cross. It goes right by the face of goal. Paul Mullen right there gets the boot on it and pops it into the left side of the net. Put us up 1-0 for the good guys. Woo-hoo! We've got Mullen, right leg, top shelf, and Dawson with his stupid baseball cap on. Didn't see that one, did you? Sun still in your eyes, sir? Who's wearing a baseball cap? One way to get off the schneid. Barney with the service. Holy cow. Indeed. There's the comment. Wait. Don't Tim kick him in the balls before every game. It works. If you're joining late.
Yeah, ring the bells, from Go.
had a panic moment before the game as the camera pans over to Mullen, who's laying on the ground. He's covering his head. He's in obvious pain, and I'm going, oh no, what happened? Physio walks over and just taps him on the back, and I'm like, that's odd. And he stood up and then stuck his hands down his pants and readjusted himself, and it was pretty clear that he took a shot in the groin. And so there's David with back-to-back comments of the match competition.
It got him all angry, fired up like it should, right? Yeah,
you kick him in the balls before every game at work. That's definitely, oh man, and I'm behind on putting those together too. The comments of the match and putting the graphics. There's going to be a massive dump at some point, and not that kind of dump. Can I change my vote to 63 goals today? Says Foster as Algonquin makes his first save on a shot from just outside the 18-yard box, 20 yards out. My word. Everybody's in a good mood now. Mullen's new pre-match ritual. Looked like it almost went off of McLean there and deflected. So Algonquin, well done to collect that one. From a shot from Rafferty is now Mullen and Rafferty entangled. Palmer, well done.
Double teamed. Yeah.
Double teamed, rolls off of one guy, goes and steals that ball, runs and grabs it and puts it into open play, and then gets it over to Barnett on the right-hand side. 18-yard box. Take him on, sir. Serve it up. Gets knocked down, but Palmer's there in the 18-yard box. Turn and spin. He can't. He couldn't, and now they come away on a counterattack. 3-on-2. Slowed down, though. Well done by EOC. Stepped up on the right to slow down the attacking forward and allowed everybody else to catch up and give an opportunity. But they're still pushing forward, 18-yard box. A hands on the shoulder of the flop meter would be getting the kick fish all over the place as he just went to the ground. And I don't know if the water that came off the pitch there is just from the sprinkler, but it looks a little bit soft. Even better mood when you see Birmingham losing. It's good everywhere. I wasn't ready for that W&G. I wasn't ready for that. Crazy. I don't have anything up yet. Just give me a second here. Jeepers creepers. Possession-wise, 40. They're only 1% ahead of us. Their corners, their crosses, all the same. And a bad touch there by. And I got to pull up all the names because I'm behind on where I'm supposed to be. Long ball, Mullen to run into. He's grabbed it. He's got Barney over to his right, but he's not going to give it to him. Instead, he's going to have a long shot. And he was feeling it from about 35 yards out, but really nowhere close. I would have liked the option of Barney screaming down the right side to give him the ball, but that's not what they went with. And Dawson's lost the stupid cap. Blame the cap. Top of the table again. Cambridge up 1-0 on Wigan. Hey, Dave, welcome. QPR fan, always welcome here. giving us the baseball cap. I assumed it had to deal with the sun, but I think it's just one of those things where you got to just suffer a little bit, don't you? Didn't work anyway. But appreciate that, Dave. Thanks for being here. I haven't even looked at how QPR is doing this year, to be fair. Turnover, giveaway, comes back to us, and that's going to be Powell is going to slide it on back. And Dawson has it. How are you, Alex? Nice to see you. What early on an 18-second goal by Super Paul Mullen. That's opening his League One account too, isn't it? All of his other games came in the in EFL Cup.
Yes, it is.
Challenged by McLean was Humphreys, and it gets knocked out on the recovery, and we're going to get a throw in 25, 30 yards away from our goal over on the left-hand side. Palmer's looked feisty today, hasn't he? It's
incredibly so. Yeah.
I don't know if Brendan's got the live mic going or not, but
I do. Yeah.
He has been all over the place. That's your Robin and your Batman and Robin sort of scenario. You get the guy back, and maybe it's just you get a little bit more juice in your step, and so he's been doing his thing for sure. Linking up 1-0 in Birmingham. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, let's we can cheer for QPR for today until next season, right? Challenge in the middle of the pitch, foul given away. Got a little bit low to the ground. Did a Dolphin coming in, and he ended up taking out Elliot Lee, and so midfield will end up getting a free kick. As it was Dobson who kicked the ball away. Lee went to go and collect it, and no Dolphin came through and wiped out Lee. Front Bryn, how are you, sir? I was telling everybody about the pin battle that you had during the Terry Fox run, and Bryn's got one. We met in Vancouver, and we're into the 18-yard box. McLean, a little bit heavy touch, and he lost it. He had Mullen to his left, but couldn't quite get it through, and so here comes the Millers, and TOC stops it. Wilkes banged it off of Wilkes, and it went off of, I think, Elliot Lee, and bangs out. I would take that, J Real. I would take that, and that's kind of what I've been hoping for, but I would love the opportunity to keep swapping places with Birmingham to make sure that we stay in the top two and just keep winning. Who needs a good lawyer? Just a bottle of Queensland rum.
Look at Palmer hustling his butt off. Like, I have never seen
breaking it down.
Ever.
Yeah, he's 10 days off, and he finds his legs. I mean, because we did see Palmer with legs early in the season, then started to fade, and that's why you saw Fletcher come in and started to ask questions about Mo Fall. But maybe the 10 days he's just got his legs back, or he signs a new contract, and this is his thank you. Deandra, David Wood, are you a stand-up comedian in real life? Because there's a clause in Palmer's new contract that he needs to snarl 4 times a half, then he gets hair dye as a bonus. God, the just for men.
He gets to steal some of Dobson's gel.
Long searching ball for Rotherham over to the right side. Too heavy. It is. And it just bangs off of Wilkes' head. They've got it set up as they run a 4-4-1-1 with Wilkes and Noom up front, but Wilkes is constantly over on the right-hand side. So I'm going to try and watch this because it looks – I think FotMob has it wrong. And why am I using FotMob and not SofaScore? I always said I prefer them in any event. Throw in for TOC, 6 yards away, 9 yards away after the run from the goal line. And Wilkes is able to get to his head to it, and it rolls out. And, they've earned the throw. They say that went off of McLean's leg. So 18 yards out, Rotherham's going to get a throw in and a little bit of push there. But, yes, Sergio. Go Wrexham indeed. Nice to see you and welcome. I don't remember seeing your name, but I didn't see it pop up on the stream elements, but I appreciate you being here. Into the 18-yard box for Rotherham, and Wilkes went to take a left footer from a weird angle and sort of skiffs and falls and flips away as we get a look at the Rotherham box seats. Suits and ties everywhere. Man, the Wrexham fans echoing again. I saw a tweet this morning is it's Rotherham just hammering it down the middle of the pitch, and there will be a battle in the midfield for possession. Barnett able to just pull that one in and pull it down, but it bounces out for. I saw a talk of somebody who was making the away trip to Rotherham up at 9 o'clock in the morning having beer before hopping onto the train and connecting through to Rotherham. And I was just like, that's football. That's Welsh football. That's Wrexham football. Beer first thing in the morning on the way for a 3 o'clock game. I need me some of that. Wilkes went out of bounds. Just not connecting with Wilkes on that right side. He has been struggling. Some of its delivery to him has been poor. Some of it has been bad touches. Is that when he had an opportunity to stop it, but he drew it towards himself as he was spinning and just pulled the ball out of touch. And a weird throw in, bounce, skip, and it lands to Mullen, 18-yard box. He has to turn for support. McLean comes and joins him. Mullen, service. Palmer, too far. In Prague, I don't know the league that they join either, but Gustavo Bonanno, and I missed that one, and I can't seem to scroll up here to be able to bring that one in. What's going on? There we go. I got it back. We've got the Czech Republic, don't we? Or Czechia? That might be a new country. No, we've got it. Czechia. Free kick. Don't think this will be straight at goal. Way too far away, midfield, and it's not even close. They just put it straight across the pitch, and it's going to be Rotherham with it. Left-hand side, 20 yards out, dances over top of Palmer. Cross into the box. Dangerous, but couldn't get the head to it. That was McCart, I think. Collected by Wilkes. He's going to serve it back in the box and head it away. Scar, well done. Gets to Mullen. He gets wiped out. Flops, hits the ground. Rafferty doesn't like that. Finger wag to the referee, but that was a full-on body check. Palmer knocks it down, and Rafferty wipes him out with the leg and a push on the back. While Mullen had it framed, how could that not be a free kick? Alex thinks that there's more coming. It's probably a good bet, to be fair. Both teams are looking relatively good.
Everyone wants to know when you're going to Wrexham, Sean.
I got to get that once I get the house settled. That's the plan. That's the goal. We'll be heading over to the UK. My wife has been 2 years without a trip over, and we are due. But we've been waiting for a whole year. Oh, bad pass back, and we had an opportunity for Barney to go and chase that, but instead Rotherham was able to move it forward and gets the midfield stripe, and it rolls out, and we're just going to get a throw in over the midfield stripe. We were told the house that had the fire was going to be done in a year. So we waited for that to happen. And then they said, it'll be 18 months. So we waited for that to happen. It ended up taking 2 years. And so finally, we've been saving money and preparing ourselves for this moment as we're doing all the mass renovations. And we didn't want to be away. And so Barney with it, 18-yard box. Nice little play by Mullen to get it to him. He dances back towards now goal line, cross, far post. It's there. Opportunity. Lee had it off of his head, and he was wide open, and he couldn't get it into the back of the net. That's an opportunity that we missed. That service again from Barney landed right on the head of a black jersey's player. How did that not go? How did that header? I know
I couldn't even see that Elliot Lee was in there.
Brendan, yes, couldn't see Elliot Lee was in there. But he was wide open. I think he'd be a little bit disappointed with his attempt there. Maybe he doesn't get a lot of headers, height. But that one served right, passes everybody and down onto his head, standing 4 yards from goal. McLean, nice little tackle, and then Palmer gets cleared out through the back. Humphreys, that's getting close to yellow. Mark saying exactly what I was going to say is they're complaining about them, but when you're going through the back of a player, you're going to get a foul. And that's both times Mullen earlier and Rafferty wiped him out. Now with Palmer, Humphreys wipes him out. Is they've got the ball in front of them. They're facing back of goal and they're just getting cleared out, going through the legs, through the calves. That one was more egregious than the Rafferty one on Mullen. And I think too many of those, you got to start to look at a yellow. And the young guy's in too. Free kick going to Rotherham, and they're going to grab it there. And It's going to be Powell with it. Plays it back to McCart. Right-hand side over to Rafferty. Midfield stripe, and I haven't looked at the stats, but I'm assuming that the possession is a little bit higher for them than it is for us. I'm going to close a couple things off here.
Yeah. The other stats that I can bring up is that David Wood is on point with at least 3 good comments, and Kim is a little rattled early, and we're expecting a whole lot for her to come storming back. And,
that's yeah. I'll put up a new poll. How many? What's the over/under on exceptional comments for the day?
Or questionable comments.
All good ones are questionable. Back to Rafferty over 35 yards, 40 yards out. Long searching ball in. Went front side and almost missed that. A bold move by EOC, who stepped in front of the attacker there. And then it almost looked like it was going to get over top, as that was Nombe. His EOC thought, I'm going to get that easy. And then all of a sudden the ball carried and almost went over his head, and Nombe would have been wide open in the area. Tiehi back to Rafferty, right-hand side for Rotherham, moving towards your right-hand side of your computer screen. Possession 69-31. And this is a team that only typically has 1% more possession than we have, owning it right now. Rafferty with it, moves it forward. Powell, left-hand side, he gets wiped out. Play advantage, into the box, into the area, skipped up, and that's going to roll out for a Rotherham throws. That was dangerous, but it just skipped off of the head and cleared away. Taken quickly. Wilkes, 18 yards out, left, into the box. It's Ray Algonquin has to come out and grab that as Scar gets tangled up. Or is on the list. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. That's an easy one to see. I always remember the flag, white and maroon. But for everybody down below who is joining, feel free to give a comment if you see a country that's not running down below, as we're at, I think, 57 countries now. Is it 57 or 56? After we added Andorra last. And here they come again. James on the left-hand side. He gets picked up by EOC, who steps out. Well done by him. Now it's Bramall. Barnett draws it on back. A Dauphin. Over to James. 18-yard box. They're still searching. They're taking on EOC. And Barnett steps in and blocks that one from getting in. And it rolls out, and they'll get a throw in. Bramall throws it back in. James cross into the box. Easily cleared away by Dobson. But Rotherham has it again. Oh, there's an opportunity. And Ogonkwo there to put it into the breadbasket and collect it. Woo-wee. Boyd Otter, missed you coming in. Nice to see you. How are you? 1-0, good guys. Super Paul Mullen on the 18-second mark with a brilliant bit of service from Barnett, who's now had 2. I think we probably should be up 2-0. I think Elliot Lee, that opportunity turned out to be nothing. But when you're 6 yards out and it comes and lands on your head, you'd expect to be able to find the back of the net. But just off the top of his head in the toe, that was probably about, the 15th minute. More possession from the bad guys, but they've turned it over. Opportunity to push forward. Too far forward, and it's going to be collected by James back to Dawson, who just thumps it down the middle of the pitch. Struggling in the midfield to maintain possession, not being able to connect coming forward. So it's hoofball territory, it looks like. And relying on Palmer to do his magic, as here they come again. Too much sitting back as Powell gets it over to Bramall, left-hand side. Barnett's over there. Here comes a... Says a dive, and then he took a ball into the back. Had to pause there as Powell ended up getting wiped out in a tackle, and he flopped. I thought obviously thought enough ball in the challenge, so didn't call it, but it was right on the edge of the area. I don't think it wouldn't have been a penalty, but it would have been 19 yards and a dangerous one. Cannon struggling. Physio's up. Mullen doesn't look great either. They're saying Palmer's hunched over. Are we just wiped out and gassed here? What's going on? Because Rotherham is swarming us, and we got 3 guys struggling. Palmer tries to pick it up. It's all in the 18-yard box, and it's down there. The shot, just missed. Rafferty, right footer, curling towards the post, and he missed it by a foot. I will never not admire Brendan's flop chips. What happened to Cannon? That was a good strike, and he had space to get it around. Wilkes went a little bit too far to the left and didn't come around. Aaron thinking we might have this 2-1. Why do we have 26% possession? Because the other side has 74% possession. But we've been struggling in the midfield to maintain possession. It hasn't connected through the build-up from the back. They've been dominating the midfield with any high balls, and so that's where we're at. Cambridge 2-0, looking for their first win and trying to get more than just 1 point in the column. Birmingham tied, Mansfield tied, Wickham's already played. They've got their points secured, sitting at 20. Thank you, W&G, as always. Yeah, do I want to look at the stats early? I don't know if I do. The momentum meter was us early. It's all them since. And you go through, big chances are actually 2-0 for us, but they've got 4 shots. Only 1 goalkeeper save? I think we've had more than that. Only 49 accurate passes so far. Or sorry, 27 accurate passes so far out of 50 some that have been attempted. Not good. And it is Cannon. I don't know what happened, but it is Cannon. Hit the like button 3 times as many votes as likes. Wow. Smash that like button. So Ogonko is going to get us started. Time wasting at in the 23rd minute. 22 minutes, 45 seconds just passed there. So Cannon looks to come back on. They love showing off the boxes here with the camera angles. It's the third time we've looked at the box. I don't recognize anybody, but the Rotherham elite in their suits sitting in their box seats. The Wrexham fans have gone a little bit quiet as Rotherham continued possession. Things have been working on the left, but not on the right for them. Here they go over to the right. Rafferty has another crack. Oh, dangerous. Oh, that was well shaped, but doesn't go in right in front of the streaking Undefeated, who dives for it, lunges, tries to get a foot onto it. Unsuccessful, right-footed. Rafferty's looked good on that right back position. Advancing forward, and his service into the box has been there, and Undefeated right there. That was an opportunity. Ogonko gets us back underway. Cannon's made his way back onto the pitch. Palmer heads it. Nobody there. Rotherham grabs it. And this just seems to be what the last 10 minutes has been like, is struggling to get possession in the middle of the field. We give it over to them, and they methodically work their way forward. Mullen and Palmer on the press, trying to take it. Humphreys has to spin and turn around. Undefeated all the way back, gets it to McCart. McCart, left-hand side now, searching, advances it forward. Rotherham still trying to find something coming forward, gets it to Humphreys. Rafferty over to his right. He's looking down the pitch, pulls it to Rafferty. Middle of the pitch now, McCart. We'll take a stretch, take a timeout, wait for them to see how they're going to advance this forward, and if they're going to advance it forward. And here they come. Undefeated across the midfield strike over to... I got to call it the halfway line. Oh, I got a kid who's angry. His game's not going well on his end, and we've got a mess. We'll clean that up. I got it, love. The chaos of a Saturday morning football. Only 8 minutes away from a Jimmy booking. McLean he's been a little weak on the yellow card so far this season. He's got to step up a little bit in that regard. Just maintaining possession is Rotherham all the way back through McCart over to the left side to James in their halfway line, and the way they come back. We're comfortable largely to just sit back and keep our shape and let them do their thing. Rafferty on the right-hand side, McLean coming up, and here's a bit of a run from Mullen with the press on Humphreys, and he's going to draw it back to Dawson. Ooh, and a missed strike. I thought he was trying to go long there, and instead it just ends up rolling to McCart harmlessly. Barnsley goes up on Blackpool 1-0. Thank you, W&G. I need a refresh on my... Dangerous gets cleared out by us, and it's going to go midfield stripe, and they're going to give the free kick delayed. They are not liking... There's lots of complaining after every whistle from Rotherham. There's been 3 fouls now in a row where... And this one... I don't think that one was necessarily a foul. The other 2, they've come through the back. I haven't had a problem with them. But that one... Oh, they actually... The color thinks that could have been a booking. I didn't think there was much into that, to be completely fair, but... Long ball, no success there for Palmer, and here the Rotherham grabs it and comes the other way. Stepped up in front to Scar, but he goes to the right, and Cleats got up, playing advantage, and Rotherham moving forward. Nambe all the way, taking a run, and nothing. Okay, that probably should have been a foul the other way. We got a bit of an advantage there, and the Rotherham fans are now starting to get on the referee as well. Right-hand side, still the bad guys with too much possession. Wilkes to Tiehi, tackled by McLean. It goes out. It's going to be a throw-in, and we are dealing with a Miller's push. Rafferty throws it in. Parkey was apparently upset that it should have been a Wrexham throw. I didn't see that, but he did. Shoulder by Dobson. Pushing a Dolphin off the pitch, and so it ends up going to just being a goal kick. That was a smaller Dobson up against a much larger Dolphin. He ends up just giving him the shoulder barge and knocking him off the pitch. Ben Atkinson is the ref today. Go to referee watch and pull up the cards and see exactly who he is. But he seems to be comfortable letting them play everywhere, except does not like the challenges through the back. That would be the read I would have at 28 minutes and 30 seconds coming up now. More Rotherham possession. It never ends. 75-25, the opportunity. We're way up on the XG, though, despite their 4 shots and 3 of them being on target. That's what all of their possession gets. And a giveaway. And here we go. McLean with it. Left-hand side, 20 yards out. Draws it back to Lee. Lee towards the middle of the pitch. So he runs all the way across and does a switch over to Barney. Barney towards the right-hand side. Stepping forward. Cross into the area. Did that get banged off and we'll get a corner? Or no, it went straight out? No. Did that go straight out? That would be the first...
No, Barney just plays back on.
Oh, no, goal kick. That's right. Barney's just going back to midfield. I was going to say that couldn't have gone straight out because Barney doesn't do that. So it's gone out. It'll be a corner. My eyes did not deceive me. And yes, gotta love Dobson. That charred, like, small little tiny guy with a big spirit. For the Boston fans, if you watch ice hockey, Brad Marchand and Dobson have a lot of similarities. TOC, left-footed in swinger, far post, and here, but it's Cannon in a battle, free kick going the other way. Mark says he would have thought that could have been a yellow as a chance to break, but I don't see it. I mean, it was a 50-50 ball, and he just got a little bit aggressive, and instead Atkinson giving him a talking to. and the fans giving them the gear saying it should have been yellow. I don't like that's what they're complaining about. Was that one of those professional fouls that there's a counterattack that's happening and he pushes the ball forward? And did you stop an opportunity for them to break? I don't think they stopped an opportunity for the break. I think Cannon had a legitimate opportunity at getting that one. And here's Dawson all the way out to scream and yell at the referee as he's losing control of the game, which will make it entertaining. He's more like Rowan Atkinson, but I'm fine with it today. Love it. Pope Catholic. Also, a lot of flops going around all over the place. As that was, I think, Nombe who just ended up doing the roll on a little bit of touch in the area from Scar. Rotherham onto Ogonkwo with time wasting. TOC, long searching ball. Nudge by Mullen, nothing there, and comes back to Dawson, who just clears it. And does it stay in? It does. TOC able to get around Wilkes and helped force a turnover, but Lee not able to get it. Oh, tripped. Bit of a flop there from Lee. I think he went to air before the contact even got made. I mean, it was a trip. And I guess Lee has to mitigate the damages and try to avoid it if he can, as he went airborne to try and get around his leg. It just looked a little awkward, but we will have a free kick from about 40 yards out. Ricky Graves joining us. Thank you for the subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, smash that stuff as we continue to grow this wonderful little community. And it's going to be far side. Barnett, 18-yard box, has to knock it down. Lee can't get it on a weird bounce and hop that came off the turf, and he tried to chest it but lost control. Barnett knocks it back in, can't get there. It's poor header away, and so McLean picks it up. He crosses far post, doesn't go far enough, and so it's cleared. The mass scramble, Mullen tries to get to it. It gets headed back, and Dawson's just going to collect. And a little bit of a breath and a time to breathe as we had an extended opportunity there. Dawson marshalling. Both teams are spry. This is a good one as far as the teams taking a punch at each other and running all over the place, and some hard tackles going all over the place. Stevenage up on Mansfield. They looked better than their that was a mishit. What happened there? Just off of McLean's left foot and straight out. As a Bruins fan, I'm not a Marchand fan. Dirty bastard. He's been suspended for slew-footing more than once. Talented but dirty to the point of possible injuries to others. As a non-Bruins fan, I would agree with you. But I've also appreciated that there aren't too many little guys with more heart than him. And so he is a rat. They call him a rat for a reason. Just when you think it can't go down further, it's guaranteed win day. Because our possession is sitting at, what's it sitting at now? 21%? 21%. Rotherham with the ball, not surprising. With it. Odoffin tackled by Dobson, tries to get it out, and instead it gets knocked out of bounds. Oh, it's not going to be a throw-in. They're going to give a free kick for the tackle, and well done by Dobson to just single-handedly earn possession back by Wrexham. Thanks, Foster. And if you're looking to do the joins today, other than the subscribe, the other option, you can hit that join button for $1 a month. You get a nice little icon. You get to use some emoticons, and you get to contribute to what it is that we're doing here, and all that money getting dumped back in. Net negative for the people who think I'm making millions of dollars, but certainly been getting closer to the point where we can start doing the giveaways. That's the plan. That's the plan. Today I learned what slew footing means. Don't see it in football that much, but in hockey, really dangerous. Ice hockey, really dangerous, because you on skates and you take out somebody's leg, and all of a sudden they're on their ass or their head, and causes a bunch of problems. Huddersfield up on the Bristol Rovers 1-0. As the table continues to take form, Mansfield sliding the wrong side, other side of Wickham with their goal differential now going to -1. And here we go. We've got an opportunity, 18-yard box into the area. Oh, and it's knocked away, and we're going to get on that cross. Powell knocks it out, and we're going to get a goal, a corner from the right side. So that'll be Tom O'Connor going up for the left-footed in swinger as we find a light setting that I like. How's my glow? Stockport up there on 19 points now. Barnsley, Stevenage up 18 and 17 points. And Charlton and Blackpool fall down into 12th and 13th, being down 0-1. Super thanks also works as that goes crossed in but headed away. And there's Cannon again, and he's been very careful after the Stern talking to. 3-on-2 as it gets past the challenge, and it's almost a clear straight run in. Was he offside? Obvious offside. The fans are feisty, and they're booing. Thanks, Denise. Appreciate that. Becoming a sponsor by hitting the join button. Why'd they let the play go on that long, I guess? But in any event, nothing really happens there. Nambe had an opportunity on a late entry, and the Rotherham coach is into it with the fourth official. I don't understand the upset on that one. It was a clear offside. They let it play longer than it probably should have before the flag went up. Play came into Nambe, and he had an opportunity, and nothing really came of it. Brendan is now Googling cartwheeling GIFs. Hey, we've got the ball. Back to Ogonkwo. And then he mishits it and kicks it through the midfield, and it's turned over. He's kind of whiffed and scooped that one, and that's a foul on Tom O'Connor. That won't be a card. Oh, he is 30 yards out. TOC having to talk to him, just making sure we get our 2 cents in. He went down easily, but it was still a foul. For people talking that it should be yellow, and I don't want to criticize Mark, who thinks that there was possible yellow in that one. I don't see that. And me as agreeing, I don't think there was enough in that challenge. I think he put his hands on him and was running over to the right, and Wilkes went down. Enough of contact to warrant the foul, but not enough in my eyes to be a yellow. But we're going to get 25 yards out, and it's going to be Powell on it, left footer, 2 men in the wall. Is he going to serve it in? And he is. It's there. It's up. It's over. It's dangerous. It's skipping. Ogonkwo punched, knocked. Hoo. Did a defender get that? Did it go off Ogonkwo? It's going to go for a corner, as that was an almost as it skips up over top, bounces, misses the attacker. Ogonkwo knocks it free and clear, and then it lands to a Rotherham player on the left-hand side who has the opportunity, and instead he bangs it off of Palmer, and it goes out for a goal kick, and it's going to be a left-footed out swinger. Flat. O'Doffin can't get to it. 18-yard box, and it's down, though. It skips, and it's blocked out, and Dobson collects, and he's going to advance it out on the counter. Barnett, he's all by himself. 1-on-4, 1-on-5. He's waiting for support. O'Doffin, he's got 2 guys coming. Barney pauses, holds up, cuts back in. Well done, Barnett. Waits for everybody, and then gets a cross in. Palmer goes down because the ball was going over his head and tries to draw a call. It was the only option that he had, and nothing there. I don't think really anything's deserved a yellow. I mean, there have been fouls all over the place. It's been, the 2 teams have been spry, and they've been banging into each other, and there's been players that have been going down, but nothing to me that looks like it should be yellow. But yes, that play by Barnett, something special again, as he was 1-on-5, still maintained possession, had 2 guys step out in front of him, draws him to the middle and gets it in, but a little bit too heavy, and Palmer just can't get up there. Opportunity, Cannon can't get there, and so it's going to be more possession for Rotherham. Small man, big heart, even bigger hair gel. Don Morgan with the contribution. A foul to Mullen. Got on Powell. Oh, he held his right hand. Flop, Jeff. He held his hand and it knocked him off stride. Because that's what happens to me every time my wife holds my hands. I crumple into the pitch. Weak. But free kick from 35 yards, 32 yards out, served into the box, headed away. Scar knocks that one away, and it's going to be collected by Rotherham towards the middle of the pitch. James, service all the way in, 18-yard box, taken by us. McLean over his head to clear it. Is it going to stay in with Lee? Can't get there in time. Throw in, 40 yards away. I changed my thoughts on Palmer's contract bonus. I think they may have taken one of his kids. He's playing like it. Man possessed. I'm with you, John. I could see a halftime. If it any other manager than Parkey, I'd agree with you that Rathbone on at the half. I think the knock has just slowed him down, and I wouldn't be surprised if you bring in Rathbone earlier rather than later. McLean steps in front of the throw and gets it to Lee. Lee skies it. Palmer and Mullen not able to maintain it, and instead it's going to land. Nombe not able to get it. McLean clears it down. Humphreys for Rotherham. Midfield still looking for somebody to maintain possession, and it's us as Lee spins. McLean. He missed Palmer over his head, and so just a giveaway to Dawson. Struggling a bit through the midfield with our possession and being able to set something up, unless it's through Barney and he takes on the whole team. Haven't been able to find it. Jersey holding. Scar grabbing there, but nothing called, and Rotherham's got it 25 yards out. James advances it forward. Bramall now with it. 20 yards, or is that Wilkes? Wilkes is over there. He's everywhere. G-Zone becoming a sponsor, signing up. Thank you, sir. Powell with it. Well done. EOC just steps in front, comes forward, midfield stripe, and then a bad pass and gives it away. Powell looks like comes all the way back and grabs it and gets it over to Humphreys over on the right-hand side. Midfield, halfway line. Hard pass over to Rafferty, right side, clears it up, looking for Wilkes and Nombe in the middle. Nombe not able to get it, headed away, and it accidentally bangs off of the top of Dobson's head. And goes up in the air, and he gets collided into, and I shouldn't laugh. He's injured. Nombe rolling on the ground, went to go and jump up into the air, and he banged into Dobson. Dobson takes an elbow to the head, rolls off of it, jumps in the air to head it away, and gets collatered into by Nombe. Nombe committed the foul by running into Dobson and then hits the ground, hurting himself. Cannon's not running at all. Ooh, Aaron, I like it, but I can't nominate that for a comment. Dobson's hair's got more oil than a Diddy party. Oof. That's exactly how it'll be. One opportunity, and they'll clear it forward. Is up over top. O'Doffin skies it, and it lands onto our... A Dolphin, what is Rotherham doing? Is this their tactic? Like, the coach is nuts. A Dolphin's nuts. Like, every foul, every time that's given is... Like, I started giving a yellow just for the pissing and moaning. So McLean's got it. Going to be a free kick from basically halfway. Is he going to serve it in? Just outside the 18-yard box, far side, headed towards Palmer, but it doesn't get there, and it's going to roll out for a goal kick. That was a challenge by a Dolphin on Dobson, and he's now blowing it down, and he's going to go and talk to them, and he's clearly saying enough of the chit-chatter back to me. I'll give you a yellow. And he's even given it this. Is that the man wearing the armband in McCart to say settle it down? No. So it must have been something from McCart, separate and apart. Mark says 3 added minutes. The graphic came up 2. It's now changed to 3, so we'll go with 3 minutes of added time. The assistant manager, the manager's been up. McCart just got a talking to. Every foul that's given, that would have been a foul. And the Bronx cheer comes out as O'Connell gets the foul the other way on Bramall. And Bramall's still walking away complaining. Oh, we're going to get a yellow. Scar knocked the ball away, I think. Is that what happened? He kicked away, and then EOC comes over and apologizes to Scar because I think it was EOC, and so does Mark and Mia. They cleared it away. So kicking the ball away after the foul was given, and Scar gets the yellow card. 25% possession, 52% passing, and haven't done anything just in the last 20 minutes or in the last 44 minutes. Patrick Murray. I keep hearing a challenge by a dolphin. Are you saying that on Poipus? Well done. Well done. A dolphin. Cutting in, still with it, 18-yard box. Just knocked away by, was that Cannon stuck the, it was. Cannon stuck the leg in. No foul given there on the pullback on shoulder. Looked kind of like a horse collar tackle, and well done to eke a corner out of that one. And they're going to line up and look to take it quickly, potentially. Nope. They'll leave it there. Is drawn back in and banged off of, I believe it was Cannon again in the corner. And it's going to be an out swinger from Powell. I should nominate that one as well. Too many good comments. Dangerous, pinged in, heavy, flat, dangerous corners. Like they're literally just bullets at about 6.5 feet tall. Oh, here comes the drama. Mullen takes a sliding tackle over on the touchline on the other side of the midfield stripe, and Dawson ends up being collided. A yellow card. What? Made a meal of that, did Dawson on the flop martyr. Mullen, I love it when I say made a meal of it and then I hear it back on the replay from the color. But they're correct that Mullen didn't need to try and block that one with the sliding tackle and take the unnecessary yellow. But it happened in any event. Well, Ogonko fouled, nothing given, and he collects again. And the ref is nervous. He doesn't give that foul on Ogonko, who goes to the air, gets undercut, ball gets loose, and then he has to run and grab it and collect it. Woo! It is feisty in this one. The fans are on it. Get to the half, sir. Recollect yourself. 1-0 for the good guys after an ugly, chaotic half, really. Mullen having a chat. EOC having a chat. Mullen saying, I was nowhere near him. He ran into me. And here comes the manager's now out talking to Mullen, and he's still giving him the business. EOC goes over, pats him, and they have a laugh and a smile, and then the manager gets right back into it. Stupid and useless. I can absolutely, John, agree with that as an interpretation of what happened. Do I think that the official made a meal out of it? Or the official, the goalkeeper made a meal out of it with his theatrics in playing that one? Yes, but why give him the opportunity? Why give him the opportunities? Have the commentators mentioned the Harlem Globetrotters yet? Not yet. Not yet. Holy cow. Brendan, some that mess, glorious mess, beautiful mess.
Yeah.
I'll take the one. Yeah, summarize that half.
Wow, we came out, flying around. Barney dominated the right side for the first, I don't know, 10 minutes at least, owning everybody over there, putting in perfect crosses. And we had a fair number of people in the box, which we don't always do. And yeah, when that happens with Barney's service, you expect goals, and that's what we got right away from Mullen, which was a far trickier play than you'd think. That ball wasn't on him, and he had to reach across another player and deflect it with the inside of his foot. That was pretty impressive goal by him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Lee opportunity?
Rotherham was pulling what we see out of Mullen too much, which is just they cared more about flopping. That I don't remember what the guy's name is. The guy with the sideshow bob hair. It's just
Nambe up front.
Yeah, he several times it looked like he could have got a shot off, and instead he chose to dive instead of focusing on the ball so that he could potentially get a penalty. And what really amazes me is he thinking that it's a cumulative effect? Like if he fakes it 30 times, there's some magic number that if he fakes it, they'll start calling it. Like, don't you see that the ref doesn't want to call that crap? So just cut it out. Like, that's what I don't get about Mullen. Mullen, if they're not giving it to you, incessantly complaining, it's not going to get it done. So. Yeah.
And the flip side of that with the incessant complaining is that, and I put a new poll up there, John's recommendation again, and I appreciate the insight because I get so caught up in doing other things. Why has there not been a yellow for dissent to either side, at least to send the message?
The great point. I thought he was pretty close. That Mullen clearing up the goalie doesn't help because the ref might have been seeing it more one-sided in the complaining and the flopping. And now with Mullen clearing out their goalie, he's like, well, maybe they are, winding you guys up a little,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the only way you can control it. I mean, the complaints after the obvious fouls are the ones that I can't stand. And if it's close and I can see people frustrated, fine, get them out. But there have been 3 obvious clattering into the back of our players that the free kick is given, and the players are acting like their protestation of their innocence is at the level of an annoyance and a little over excessive. But there you go, excessive whinging
after they get the call. I see guys, they get the call, then they get up and they continue to complain. I'm thinking, like, why are you wasting that
the time moaning when you got what you wanted?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this. For me, I've seen it in the previous game as well. O'Connor and Scar seem to. There's something there. O'Connor seems exasperated multiple times. Like he'll do something on one of the plays. He cheated way up and cut off a breakout at midfield and knocked it away. And he turns back around to go back, and you see him looking back towards the center back part of the field, throwing his hands out like, what did I do wrong there? He in this constant chirping back and forth between him and Scar. Scar and O'Connor never seem to talk to each other, right? Like, I don't know if Scar knows he shouldn't say anything to EOC because EOC will knock him in the head and he can get away with chirping at O'Connor. I don't know. But the two of them seem to talk nonstop, and O'Connor looks bothered every time. So I don't know if anyone else is seeing it.
I didn't notice. Something for me to keep an eye on for sure. Kim saying diving should be a straight red, accompanied with a kick in the arse for the referee. I'm not going to say that's wrong. Rotherham has been the better side. If I was, and I said this already twice, I think, if I was to identify an issue, I don't have a problem with our defense. Ogonko has been solid, and he's had to make a couple of stops, and positionally he's been in the right spot. There was that real good opportunity that they had with O'Doffin, who came in on the entry in by Rafferty. There was the right footer from Rafferty that maybe could have found the back of the net. I mean, I haven't gone to their XG or anything, but if I do that, looking at the stats, they're only at 0.31, but they've had 7 shots, 3 of them on target. So they've been in and around and about it, but they haven't really found anything big. But we've had more big chances. Well, the only big chances, 2-0, and the one miss, which would have been the Lee opportunity that was missed. So as the only area where I think we've played poorly is in the midfield. We can't seem to connect coming back from the back line, and we can't maintain possession there, which leaves us only with hoofball options and relying on Palmer. So it'll be interesting to see if Rathbone's the answer here. John identifying earlier on that Cannon still seems to be slow, and I think that's probably a wise decision. Do we want to go through stats or do we want to go through table first?
Yeah, I have the stats up. The important stat I think David's pointing out is how many times Mullen gets his bells rung, and how many will those convert into goals. They're in the dressing room now going.
The pre-match and the end of the half ritual of smacking Super Paul Mullen in the groin. That ritual was born today. I don't
know if it was a thing in Canada. I don't know if it's a thing around the world, but strangely, your buddies would walk by in the hallway and reach down and whack you, and you'd be rolling around on the floor while they're all laughing at you. Like that would be a regular thing when you were a kid.
Yeah, no, that happened in Canada quite frequently as well. Yeah, cup checks quite frequent. The Washington Capitals, Tom Wilson does a 2-handed slash to the back of the pants of everybody before a match. So there's some weird rituals out there. That one I can understand because it's well padded. But are we going to see fall today? I think we will be. Rathbone's going to be coming in. John said that the half would be the best, and I like you get the free sub at the half. You don't use a window, so if Cannon's not feeling it,
we're going to use every sub today.
But we're going to use all of our windows. We're going to use all of our subs, so that's definitely got to happen because I don't think that there's been, other than Barnett, there's been no standout player for me.
No,
I don't know.
Do you have any? So there was one play with Lee which kind of bothered me. We were overloaded on the left. We had 3. They only had 2 defenders. McLean has it. He brings it back to Lee, who starts dragging it across to midfield. And it's like he's not really covered. Like he has plenty of room. And I've seen him score. He's bent in a couple from there where you're like, is he crossing it? And he actually hooks it in the corner, right? Like Lee's blasted from that range and scored before. And he did what I was saying Rathbone does, which is he never even glanced at goal. Like he never made them think, I'm going to turn here. I'm a threat from this distance. And he knocked it all the way across. And I see them do this where they almost force it out to Barnett. And I understand why, because Barnett is so good in there. Like the play that they're best at is that cross by Barney and rushing everyone in front of the goalie. I mean, that's where they do it. But I wouldn't mind a cannon blast, a lead blast from that edge of the box area.
Edge of the box, 18-yard area. Yeah.
And I don't see Lee being aggressive.
Which is interesting. You go back to the highlights with Lee from last season as to when he was scoring goals, and how many times did he do a turn and burn from the corner edge of the area, and he goes running through along the 18-yard box and then just hammers it and finds the back of the net. Cannon seems to be loose ball opportunity. I'm going to put my foot through it and it tears the back of the net open. But you're right. The Nutcracker suite. I'm with you that we haven't challenged the middle of the area. The reality about this game is we just haven't had possession. To go through the stats while we're at it, 26% possession, 3 shots, 2 big chances. As far as accurate passes go, we're sitting at 46 passes and 52%. I mean, that's I've never seen the numbers that low, and that's really either a credit to Rotherham through their midfield or an issue with us, in that Lee, Cannon haven't been able to do their thing along that within the midfield, and that I think is the biggest thing that Parky's got to address during the half, is finding some way to get some added measure of control, and whether that's Rathbone coming in for Cannon, whether that's bringing in who's on the Revan over on the left hand side from McLean, who I haven't even noticed McLean, to be entirely fair. That's what else do you do with? We're dominating all the defensive stats. We're way up on clearances. We're way up on keeper saves. We're way up on ground duels won and aerial duels won, and that's all a byproduct of just giving up so much possession. What else do you say about it? It was an ugly half, other than our form was and our shape was good defensively. Ogonko was on point, and we got a great service from Barney for a goal. The end. Am I wrong?
No, I absolutely agree. It is the funniest looking consistency set of stats in FOTMOB, where the expected goals and defense is all green, and then the shots and passes is all red.
Oh, right.
For the two teams, it's amazing. Usually there's some amount scattered, even when one team's just straight up dominating. But this is consistent.
So let's bring up the table at the half just as we follow along. We're not on with the voodoo or anything like that. We'll set the precedent early that we'll look at this all the way through. Yeah. So Wrexham sitting at the top because of the goal differential, but with an extra game played, being tied and equal with Birmingham, who's in a 1-1 draw battle with Lincoln City. That draw meaning Lincoln sitting at 5th place. Wickham's already finished their match, so they're sitting there watching everybody sitting on 20 points. And Mansfield still down to Stevenage, which, Stevenage being where they're at, they're now at 10th in the standing. They looked solid. I really, really, really liked their midfield, and defensively 1-0. They scored early with us. They held on. That's how they're built.
Very strong.
Reminds me of the New Jersey Devils when they were winning the cups with Scott Stevens. They just tried to score early and then clamped down defensively, and you spent the entire rest of the match trying to find a way to crack a nut. Notice how I did the nut reference? Crack a nut.
That's the theme for the day.
That's the theme for the day. Nuts.
I will find second half nut cracking gifts.
It's Christmas. Get into the spirit. Going around the rest of the league, Stockport up 1-0 on Charlton, which knocks Charlton down to 12th and maintains Stockport with a game in hand, sitting at 19 points. So they're in the mix and still chasing. Huddersfield, Barnsley, Stevenage, all up. And the inverse, I mean, you look at those teams that have moved all the way up, then you have Charlton, Blackpool, Rotherham, Wigan, and Bristol all sliding down. And the only team sitting on a draw in the middle of the table is Bolton, who playing Burton Albion at home, you'd expect that not to be an issue at all. And they're sitting 0-0 at the half. Bolton would be disappointed with that one as an outcome. So Mullen's out, Cannon's on the pitch doing a run. So we should do an over-under of 0.5 on how many times we will get halftime subs not involving an injury by Parky. Because I wonder if he'll ever do one. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen one. If there was an opportunity, Cannon not fully injured, but this would have been the opportunity. As our midfield hasn't been good, do the sub, and of course we come back and they cut to the Rotherham coach who's in the ears of the fourth official at the start of the half. At some point, you got to end up just saying enough's enough. Steve Evans.
What are you doing?
That's not Steve Evans. That's going to be the assistant manager.
Yeah, he's on. No, he can't. He's out. He's suspended.
Steve Evans is suspended. Okay. And so it's the assistant manager getting into it, who I don't know who that is. We're underway. Wrexham going from left to right on your screen. Rotherham, the Millers, from right to left. Ball kicked up in the air by Dobson, cleared away, and that's going to be Humphreys who pushed it forward. McLean heads it up. Dobson into a battle, ends up on Nombe. Do we just call him Nombe or do we call him Sideshow Bob? Yet to be determined as TOC steps in the front, does a little bit of a flop. Nothing there, and it's going to be a Rotherham throw-in, 20 yards out. 18 yards now. 17 yards now. Just enough to be able to get a long throw-in. Thrown into the area low, 18-yard area, and then just ran into by Dobson. Mullen, nice. Switch over to Barney, who's got open space. 20 yards out, dancing, punches it forward, cannon, and it's banged out. And we're nice little play, interplay between the jerseys and the men in black as the switch does the job for some midfield possession, which leads to an opportunity. It's Cannon. I don't know if he would. I wouldn't have taken that shot if I was playing FA. I would have tried to get that pass across the face, but he took the shot, bangs it out, and it's going to be a corner kick from the right side, which means it's going to be a TOC left-footed in-swinger. The Nutcracker Suite. Northampton goes up 1-0. It's in, touched on, but easily collected. Player goes down, Cannon running away, nothing given. And Barney steps out in front and gains more possession, gets it into the area to Palmer. He can't maintain control. It goes loose and it's just cleared out by Rotherham. And McLean grabs it and collects. McLean to Lee, left side, 25 yards out. He's got McLean behind him. Does Lee, gives it to him. McLean, service into the box. Headed away by McCart, and it's going to be a throw-in for Wrexham over on the left-hand side as Evans is now, I understand why they keep going into the box as they're showing Evans, who I didn't recognize. How did that get into the keeper so quick? Anyway, Dawson grabs it, hammers it down the pitch, and Nombe heavy touch, and so it's grabbed by Dobson, who says thank you and goes the other way. Maintaining possession all the way back to Ogonkwo. And he just thumps it down the middle of the pitch and gets it to Lee. They call for a handball, and it's given, and we turn it over. The law of averages catches up with everyone. I hope you're wrong, Kim. Not today. Not today. As the fans call the handball on that one, and so it'll be Rotherham with it. 40 yards out. Are they going to play it wide again like they did in the first half? Or are they going to enter it into all of the mob of players that are lined up on the edge of the area? Put forward, 30 yards out wide. They've still got lots of bodies forward. James with it, left side, tries to get it in, can and able to block it, and it bounces around, but it's going to skip past Lee, skip past McLean, and Rotherham gets it. There's a flop in the area, and it's cleared away. Dobson picking up balls left, right, and center. Clean sheet's the most important stat for the Reds this season. Could be, and we'll talk about it generally, as a bad ball pass forward by EOC given away, and now they're coming back at us. Dobson tries to cut him off. We can't do it, and a pass. Bad pass, but Wilkes gave up on that one early. Odoffin tried to go wide to the right-hand side to get it over to Wilkes. Skips it forward. And Paul Rayner, the coach, gets a yellow card. I don't know if that happened at the half or did that happen coming back from... He's sitting down now, still complaining. But the assistant manager, who's been on his feet and into it for much of the game, pushing the back by Palmer and a free kick going the other way. The whistle, I imagine, the yellow cards opportunities. Oh, was that kicked away? Be careful. As they show Evans in the background chatting with a bunch of men in suits, I'm assuming maybe the ownership group. But control by the referee trying to settle things down by blowing the whistle a little early and a little often, I think is probably going to happen here. Rotherham haven't had a shot on target in about half an hour. And as you normally say, Kim, something they need to get success. Cleared away and headed out, and we're going to get a throw in 10 yards, 5 yards from the midfield stripe, the halfway line. Weather guy, you missed us coming out like banshees and a goal 18 seconds in by Mullen on glorious service by Barnett, and then you missed a half of just ugliness. Palmer, able to get that on the throw-in, running towards the 18-yard box, and he gets tripped up, and we're going to get just outside the area. I don't think that was in the box. Birmingham grabs the lead and jumps on top of us, top of the table for them. I mean, that was just a bad challenge by James as he swipes over the left leg and clatters into Palmer. It's clearly a foul, but it's also clearly outside. Not a penalty, but we'll take it. 19 yards out. 4 in the wall. That's close, sir. Back him up. Back him up. Huddersfield in control over Bristol Rovers. The light switch has gone back on in Birmingham, remembering that they have quality again. So it's TOC and Mullen standing over it, trying to figure it out. I think it's too close to go up and down. So it's got to be TOC, left-footed entry into the box, doesn't it? Unless they see a gap in the wall. TOC, he tried to bend it over and around, and he actually got it better than I thought. He cleared just over the wall, but Dawson was able to scramble over there and get the save, and here come the Millers the other way. Past Dobson, past TOC, rolls out. It's going to be a throw-in. They're going to try and take it quick, and whoa, they gave it to us?
I have a GIF for you that what halftime looked like trying to inspire Paul Mullen.
Okay, I mean, I'm not going to get to see this GIF, but everybody else is, as far as the locker room and what it must have been the experience for Paul Mullen. Now I'm going to have to play this back. I'm going to write this down 52 minutes, 30 seconds. let me know in the comments. EOC with it. Barney midfield stripe. Pushes it forward, trying to find Cannon. He can't do it. It skates a little bit too far, and Cannon ends up wiping him out in the legs, and that's a fair call. Going to be a free kick the other way. Palmer gets a yellow. You knew that there was going to be yellow cards that were going to be dying from wheezing over here. I'm missing out. Fascinating that the protesting yellows end up on our end, because I thought that we've largely been away from that nonsense. Ouch. Sprinkler head caused the injury to Marriott, as the rumor was not fully retracted. Not good. Not good. That's got to suck. Wilkes, 18-yard box. Missed outside of the net. TOC gets pulled to the ground, and he gets up, and he's yelling at the lino as Wilkes snuck around. Let's watch this on the replay. No, that was TOC just didn't understand, didn't expect Wilkes to pull back the other way. And when he did, he went to ground, and Wilkes just sneaks past him, goes short side, and tries to get it. Did that deflect out? I thought that went straight out, but in any event, they'll get a free kick here, or a corner kick. And they're lined up to potentially look for a short corner option with Wilkes to take it. Short corner, forwarded it, headed up and over and away. You're the best, Brandon. The GIF might have to stay in the repertoire when we need a pick-me-up. He's also been told it's fairly serious. Well, I mean, why would you do a sub at the 55th minute? Like, that makes no sense. You use up a window to bring in Jack Holmes instead of, is that Rafferty? Everybody's moving around. Why waste the window 55 minutes in? Barring injury. Palmer with it. Whoa, it bounces weirdly and ends up with Palmer, but he's not able to chase it down, and he's into a battle there with Powell, and he's able to get it, not get it. Free kick. That was well done by Palmer because he had an opportunity to take a foul. It doesn't, puts his head down, runs down the pitch, outworks Powell getting to the corner, and Powell ends up taking him out. And we'll get a free kick. Basically looks like a corner. As Palmer says, I'm not interfering, runs forward. Powell, bad first touch, and Palmer steps in front of him, and so Powell takes him out. I'm sure somebody got a talking to. Cross into the box, headed away by O'Doffin, but it lands for Dobson. Oh, have a crack, man. I know you don't like to shoot the ball, but that would have been a 22 yards out. Put it in there and see what happens. Crossed in. Ooh, flat ball. That was bullet right for Palmer's head. He just had to find it, but he couldn't. Instead, it goes to Barney. Tries to get around. Can't. That was well defended. Mullen can't get there. Cleared away. O'Connell can't get there. Headed away. Dobson collects it and gets it to guess who? Barney, who just clears up the mess and settles it down. And he's got Dobson who draws it forward. Mullen into the corner for Cannon. Cannon, he's got Barney. Barney, you serve it, sir. There's a service far post. Headed. Not enough on it. It was a little bit behind Mullen, who had to come back and head it forward. Couldn't get enough on it, and Dawson makes the easy save. But yes, Catherine, come on, Wrexham. Press on. Just not enough on it. An easy save for Dawson in the end. Just came back a little bit too far, that curling entry by Barney. Don't dare criticize for one that finds the ball, the head of the right player, but just a little bit far back. And Rotherham into the box. Trouble! And it's blocked. O'Connell with the block on a diving left-footed stab that had Ogonkwo going to the right. That looked destined for the back of the net. But O'Connell steps in front. Rotherham again, not able to get it, bounces around, and it's going to get cleared down the middle of the pitch. Cannon's looked better as Bolton finds a goal. Not the second half score reports we want, W&G. If you could get on that and fix it for us, I'd appreciate it. Saturday watching, day 5 after a knee replacement. Oof, Di, I'm glad we're cheering you up. And I hope you're doing all right, my friend. Oh, yeah, that was destined for the goal. That was Wilkes on the left-footed sliding stab at the ball. Ogonka was going the other way. And EOC able to bash that one down. And here they go with a free kick. Powell with it, left-footed. Number of players there. He's looking for service, not a shot. Plopped into the bar or into the area, and it's cleared away. And did I hear a whistle? Oh, I thought I heard whistles, but I'm hearing things now. Rotherham with it. Back into the 18-yard box. Headed away. Defensively, I like the fact that we're heading it away. Defensively, I don't like the fact that they're just coming at us in waves at the moment. And here they come again. Teehee up. Wilkes tries to lead it on and get around O'Connell, but he read that and moves forward. He'll take the easy throws. It gets knocked out by Wilkes over on the left-hand side. All right. Well, the pressure hasn't been really kept on in the last 5 anyway. We came out quite well. And really, the mix is even on that throw, we just give the ball away. And there's too many giveaways trying to find our midfielders. And, yeah, whether tired, gassed, whatever, that was banged off of it. We'll get another throw, and this time going to be 25 yards out. Dolphin whistling, is that every time I say O'Doffin? I'm going to have to mispronounce it. And, yes, positive thoughts heading your way, Di. Knee replacements. Okay, Bolton found its game. Rathbone looking to come in. Cannon left with it. He's going to have a chance to run down the wing. He keeps it in. Tries to dive through the middle. Still with it. All the way across far post. McLean not quite there. 18-yard box. He's got Lee. He's got Lee. He's got Lee. Takes the shot, and Dawson headed away, and it goes out. I think he had Lee, did McLean. Instead, he says, you know what? I'm James McLean, the goal scorer, and doesn't quite work. Well run by Cannon. Turns left, turns right, turns left, turns right. Had him twisted and got the ball over to McLean. I would have given that.
No, he hit Mullen. Mullen headed that.
What?
That was a pass to Mullen.
Oh, okay, that was a pass for Mullen that he was looking for. In any event, we're going to get a corner, and it's going to be TOC with the left-footed in-swinger from the right-hand side. Let's go up 2-0. Far post, it's there, headed, knocked around, loose. Dawson scrambles, and it falls at his feet. Unlucky, as Palmer was right there looking to snipe a loose ball. Yeah, dangerous. Good service by TOC and well headed in towards the area. And a bad touch there by Nombe. Turns over the ball. Take it. More possession for us, and I think we're getting close. The header was from Scar. Bounces off of a defender. Dawson has to scramble to the left. It bounces off of Humphreys. Scar, defender, Humphreys, Dawson, and Palmer's standing there trying to get to it as Cannon steps off. And Rathbone back, the former Miller. I hate it when the opposition's goalkeeper does their job. So frustrating. If we're tired after a 10-day break, do we need to be concerned? Yes. Mullen with it, draws it back. Barney, 2 men on him. He's got Mullen to his left. He leads it forward. It's played up. Palmer bangs it, tried to get a cross in, and it hits a defender and rolls out. It'll be a throw in 9 yards from the goal line. EOC behind him. Rathbone coming forward. Well done by Rathbone. 18-yard box, lays it back. Barney, service coming. Nope. Danced him. Woo! He ended up dancing Powell, and we were going to get possession again. And it's knocked out. Explain everything that happened there, Mr. Driver. I can't. He dances Powell, loses it. Yeah, pressure would be the word, Brendan, in my ear. Then tries to get the cross in, bangs off of the next defender. Mullen comes in, rescues it, gets it back to Barney. Barney tries to turn it, and it gets knocked out. And so now it's Rathbone with it. Cross, service, flat. Not much there. It would have been better to get that up in the air, but doesn't get to Mullen, and instead Rathbone. Rotherham clears. Rathbone clattered into, no foul on that one, and here comes Nombe through the middle of the pitch and dives. Mark agrees with Dobson's reaction. My reaction says the same thing, as Nombe takes the opportunity there. Again. Oh, there was no contact at all. He drags his toes on after a heavy touch and hits the ground in the free kick. Yikes. Burton says, hold on, Bolton. We want to get in on this one too. Bramall with it. Cross into the area. Dangerous. Headed. Oof. Moved to the left. I don't know what happened with that header, but it wasn't even close. And Mullen grabs it, and all he can do is try and keep it in play. And he does. Well, the Wrexham fans doing the on a midfield sky ball from Mullen that ends up rolling towards, bouncing towards the keeper, which would have been awesome if it would have hit the ground and bounced over top of his head, to be completely honest. Oh, I don't know what that's for. I'll write that down. 64th minute, and I'm going to have to check that reaction. Nothing like a heaping pile of pessimism all up. 0-1. Have I been that pessimistic? I think defensively, our back line and Ogonko have looked very good. They've still had their opportunities. That's going to happen in any football match. I would like to see better control in our midfield. And we'll see if we're able to get there. It has been a fun one because both teams have been spry, has been the word. This Blackpool draws even with Barnsley. Is Blackpool evil? I can't say that. And drawn back. Tiehi with it. Lee, midfield stripe with the push, and the giveaway. O'Connor tries to blast it forward and can't, and it's going to just roll harmlessly to the center backs. And here comes Humphreys over to McCart. And the Millers move forward, halfway line. Left-footed drawn in. That's Powell. Turns, spins, left-hand side. That's Wilkes, and he's going to go far post, and he can't get it. Oh, and not a good clearance, and so it's going to go to Powell. And here comes Rotherham again. Rathbone. Not a good clearance again. Not heavy. We're just if you can't get it to the midfielders and advance it forward, clear it, please. And it's kind of been half clearance, and there's the entry in, and Ogonko just comes in and controls it. Can we still get games on Paramount Plus if we buy Paramount Plus Essential subscription? That's an answer or question for the American U.S. fans as to what you need to get in the U.S. to make sure you pick up the Paramount matches. So if somebody wants to help out in the comments, that would be great. I haven't heard Weather Guy, but I haven't been as attentive. I'm mid-renovation. A couple of reminders that I haven't done while the ball gets kicked out of play. These games brought to you ad-free, this one and all season long, by Ultimate Promotions, ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. Those are the pins that they make. If you're looking for pins for sport trading, for work, for employment service, for badges, the same thing. Or you like those big metals with the hard enamel, the soft enamel, and all the fun little paint because you've got a funky sport thing. Free shipping, free artwork. Set them up as we get back to the action. 18-yard box. Barnett dancing. Service. Oh, that was a good one. Mullen couldn't get to it, and it just landed over on McCart's head, and it gets headed away. Had McLean on the far post, had Palmer kind of 2/3 of the way to the far post, and Mullen on the near post, and Mullen just couldn't get to that one before McCart cleared it. Danger, danger, danger as Charlton goes even with Stockport. Free kick given. They played advantage, and that was Nombe. I wonder if he actually got clipped this time when he went to ground, as it seems to be what he does, is eke out free kicks. Fairly sure I want Charlton and Stockport to lose points. Yes. Can you find a way for that to happen to the teams that are around us? Left footer, far post, looking for it, headed around, headed 18-yard box, and just cleaned up and cleared. Mullen, the only man up there, chasing it down, and it bangs off of his head and stays in. And it says it hit his hands. Bristol Rovers terminates the clean sheet, but you'd think with Bristol down 3-1 to Huddersfield, that one's probably over even at the 68th minute. As an omnipotent individual, he'll be back when he feels it's appropriate. When he's no longer hurt, he'll probably play again. Barney clears it. Mullen chasing. Back to Dawson. Possession seems to be probably a little bit better. I haven't looked at it, but let's go to the stats and just have a quick look here. Whoa. Where are my stats? Oh, Palmer causing challenges with Humphreys, but grab the left hip jersey and pulls it back. And we're going to get a sub here at the 70th minute, it looks like. At least that's what I thought this was. Yeah, pulls him back, and it's Rotherham with their sub, and I see Fletcher maybe coming forward to take the opportunity as well, as this is going to be a Dolphin. Played with purpose. And he's on his way out. Cable lock. Welcome. Pleasure having you. If you're sitting here, you're eking. If you're on Twitch and if you're on X, come over to YouTube. Join in. Hit the subs button on YouTube. Let us know you're here. Hit the like button if you've already hit the subs button. And if you want to, $1 a month to throw a little cash towards what we do, cover the costs of the restrip. Yeah, Fletcher's in, Palmer's out. 70th minute. That makes sense for our second sub because we've had Rathbone come in. So only one more window. If we're going to see Mo Fall come in, have to come in on that one, and potentially Revan, I think, would come in on that same window. We'll see what happens. But yeah, come on over from X or from Twitch if you're there. Whoa! That's got to be a yellow. I hate stuff like that. As Nambe just undercut Scar. I hate those. And I hope you're hurt after that one, you donkey. He did hurt himself. Like, that's just reckless. And I know he's standing up and looking at the ball and he doesn't look forward to where Scar could be, but Scar's standing there. Alan with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. $2. You can do that one as well. You can hit the sub button. I always appreciate that sort of stuff as it goes towards the cost and eventually the kit and the gear and all that sort of stuff, as we will do giveaways once we start to pay off the bills. Ogonkwo. Right-footed. Down the middle of the pitch, and Rotherham grabs it and comes away. Palmer did have a good game. I agree with you, John. Not exceptional, but by his standards, and especially in the first 15 minutes, he was everywhere. Well done, TOC, and was that Dobson, the tag team, that one? And Lee. And Lee gets it forward. He gets clattered into. Nothing there. We need to complain more vociferously. Thank you, Mr. Foster, the $2 thumbs up. Much appreciated. Everyone should leave their X for YouTube. That's sound life advice. Rotherham with it. 72nd minute, 72 minutes coming up in 10 seconds, and Rotherham has it over on the right-hand side. Is that Powell way over there? Draws it back to Tehi. And yes, thanks, D. Foster. Absolutely. D. Foster, Alan M. with the contributions, and this is their sub. Left-hand side, 18-yard box, bangs it off, and it's going to be turned around as Barney has it, looks up the pitch, and Fletcher wants it, so he gives it to him. Oh, it bounces up over top of him and Humphreys, and Dawson has to come out. And it looked like he was going to grab it with his with his hands outside of the area, but he heads it away, and it just kind of falls into the ground. Fortunate that there was no black jerseys up there on that little bounce around. Bramall, left side on the sprint. Bramall tries to get it on the collect, and Barney just puts it out, and it's going to be a corner from the left-hand side.
Worried here. I've got to D this one up.
Yeah, the flat service has been the story of the game. Just looking for 6-7 foot kicks and trying to find a head with a bullet. And so we'll see here. Powell has it lined up for another bullet entry, I'm assuming. Boom, there it is. 7 feet service. Far post, it's there. 2 people, and we had a defender laying on the ground with no foul given. I missed what happened there, but it's still loose. Oh, lots of trouble. Whoa, man. Nombe had space. Time as it bounces over, and 3 red jerseys standing there unmarked, and he turns to get it over. I still don't know how McLean was laying on the ground there and missed that header. Was that a save or a miss? That was a miss. Ogonko was there anyway. Ogonko had that covered. Yeah. Breathe easy. Ogonko's everywhere, as he had that one totally pegged and just pulled his hand back. And so he can be frustrated if he wants to, but he wouldn't have beat Ogonko on that one. The official was over in the coach's area. I don't know exactly what he was doing there. It was a miss, but it would have been a glorious save either way. The benefit was we get a goal kick instead of another bullet corner. I'd like to see the replay again to see how McLean went to ground, because that gave them an opportunity there. O'Connell tried to bang it off of a Rotherham player unsuccessfully, and so it just goes in for a throw-in, and Bramall has it, and he's going to get it forward. Hungbo, that's 21. Oof. Free kick. That's yellow to Powell? Yeah. Late challenge cleared into Rathbone. Rathbone had a little bit heavy touch to run into, and he was running forward for it, and he just had Powell come in and sweep into him and wipe him out. Elliot Lee, 35 yards out, up against the sideline, so it'll be a right footer trying to find a head. Goes far post, too heavy. Humphreys gets his head on it, and it's going to roll out for a throw-in. It's funny how we can have the biggest goal difference gap and yet can't pick up possession. I am with you. Throw in short. Lee can't get to it. Oh, and I thought we got possession. I thought it got stabbed out by the defender, but they're saying it's a throw into Rotherham coming the other way. And now we get the box view, which makes sense to me as I know Steve Evans is up there and you can see him huddled into his jacket. And Rotherham bangs it off of Mullen. Humphreys has to collect it, and he ends up giving it away. Well done by Mullen, completely eked out an extra possession there. His hustle is he's hunched over after taking that one off of his back. Lee finds Dobson, switches on, eked over to EOC. EOC back to Barney, not fast enough, so it's all the way over, but Barney finds Dobson, cuts towards the middle of the pitch. Well done. Rathbone with it now. He's got Lee. Still 35 yards out. TOC steps up and joins the party. He's searching, looking, draws it back to EOC at the halfway line. EOC towards the middle of the pitch. Humphrey steps in front and bounces a little bit loose off of his foot. And are they going to, Rotherham going to get possession? They are. Powell moves it forward, and it's going to be Bramall who had it, and now it's bounced around, and it's TA. On Paramount Plus, do I search for EFL? I don't think that's how it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be something else. I think you click EFL and you find it in there, Catherine, but somebody else can add in the comments exactly how to find the Wrexham match. Oh, okay. Search for EFL and then find it in there is what Brendan says in my ear. Bramall dancing, and they're going to give the free kick to them or a throw in. Final sub. Lots of time left on this one, 13 minutes, and they've used up all of their subs in just one man each substitution period. So Wilkes is coming off. We only have one left. We'll see what we do with it. I'm surprised Bristol Street hasn't been on Paramount. I think they have the rights for the Bristol Street, so that's the election on their end, but ESPN will have the FA. And I'm just hoping that even though it's televised, that Sportsnet actually picks that one up. We'll have to figure it out. Short throw in just outside the area, 18-yard box, and it ends up with Bramall, who looks to do a cross, and it hits the back, and it's not cleared, and there's trouble. Bounce blocked off the head. That was ugly defending, but it was effective defending, I guess. Bend, don't break. Is that what we're doing here? Nambe with I want to flop, but he didn't touch me, so I just have to trip myself up, and it goes the other way. Oh, man. Well tackled. Rathbone gets it forward. Mullen! Oh, great save. Just not enough on it. I was looking for the far post and couldn't get it there on a great play by Dobson and Rathbone. Nick the ball, play the ball forward, and get it over to Mullen and see what he can do. Going the other way. Nambe chasing it. Does he flop this time? Hey, he stays on his feet. Good job. Ogonko collects 79 minutes, 10 minutes plus added time left, and Dobson gets it over to Barney on the right-hand side. He's running with it, draws it back, and he's going to get it over to Dobson. Slow it down. The Queensland rum is going to run out. What do you do without Queensland rum? Long ball. Is he offside? No, just touched by Humphreys away. Press is on. Tiehi gets it forward, right-hand side. TOC gets turned, but McLean's coming back, and McLean got tackled there trying to go and get the ball. Nothing called, and we end up turning it over as it's a giveaway. That pass forward, not enough for Lee. That was rugby. That was a hospital pass. Rotherham, I don't like this end to end. Settle down, boys. Settle down. That's a flop. No, sir. No, sir. Hungbo loses the ball on a heavy touch, and then he just goes to ground, and they give it. Let's see. Is there contact here? Hungbo, back heel, heavy touch, heavy touch. Nothing there. $19 yards, 20 yards, dangerous territory. The possible up and down. Going to probably put at least 4 in the wall, maybe 5. Ogonko was sitting there, lining them up. Powell is there. I don't think this is, from what I've seen from Powell from the corners, this isn't going to be for him. This is going to be a shot, but I don't think it's off of Powell. It's going to be off of Bramall. Yeah, Bramall moving forward. Left foot. Ogonko punches it away. A little bit of indecision there, catch or punch, but I don't care. He saves it, and it goes for a corner over to the right-hand side. Interesting that, you can kind of tell Powell and what his foot will bring him. Not enough up and down in the ball for him to be able to do that in the limited space. So they use Bramall. Here goes the left-footed in-swinger from the right-hand side. Expect it to be a flat, hard one again, and it's a bullet. It's there. Ogonko punched, headed up in the air. Collect it, please. Ogonko still loose. Somebody collect it. Jesus. And we got somebody laying down with their hands up, and it's blown down. Did he smash into the post? We're fortunate there. I don't know why. And they have no subs left. That's their sub, Hugel, who just came in the 78th minute. Right footer, watching that side. And, it was he ran into the elbow shoulder of EOC. No intention from EOC. They're just both running back towards the post, and he smashed his head off of his elbow. But it's his leg that's hurt. Okay, I didn't see I was looking at his head being banged into. And if it is your leg, you should be faking it's a head injury, and you might get a concussion sub out of it. And that's what Mark just said in my ear. Unless I can convince the official it's a head injury, they're going to be down to 10 men or a hobbling man. It does look like he's getting worked over. I think he looks fine. He took away an opportunity there as that was blown down 20 yards out. They had possession as scrambly defense. Ogonko punched it out and nothing but red jerseys over on that left-hand side. I'm trying to read his lips here. He's running. He's stepping on it. Doesn't look 100%, but he's running. And so they're down to 10 men for the moment, and we'll see what ends up happening here. What are we at? 84 minutes coming up, and we're probably at 5 minutes of added time. The official is still up into the ears of the fourth official.
Here, 35 minutes of complaining time, though.
Rotherham had the ball, so they're going to get it. Drop to Hungbo, and the good part is we've been able to reset ourselves defensively because we were in a bit of a pickle. But there's the cross, far post, lands 18-yard box, drawn out. Teehee serves it back in. Hungbo was looking for Barnett and couldn't get there, and instead it's Nambe who grabs it and collects it. Bramall puts it in, headed up. Ogonko, go get that. Ogonko, go get that. Instead, it just bounces on the ground, and it's knocked back by Rathbone and cleared up and over, and that's going to be Mullen looking for Mofall and Revan to come in for some pace. Bramall forward, left-hand side. Moves it forward to Hungbo. Hungbo and Bramall on the left-hand side. Far post on the cross, headed towards the middle, knocked down, and Hugel, the injured man, couldn't get his legs under him, and it's just going to roll out for a throw in at the midfield stripe. Still searching. I haven't looked at the chat or anything here. Alan, I missed your second donation. Thank you for that one. I appreciate you. Squeaky bum time indeed. No fall, mo fall. No fall, mo fall. Oh, bad clearance, but it's going to be enough. And Mullen's got to come back to put a little bit of pressure on. Not enough. And now it's with Humphreys. Halfway line over to the right-hand side, advances the ball forward. It's been a long time since Rotherham's come down the right. It's been Hugill and Bramall over on the left every time they've looked to do it, and they bring it over to Bramall now on the left-hand side. He's got Rathbone there, Barney there, and here's Hugill taking on Barney. Barney backpedaling, flipped up, chipped up, and McLean heads it out. Dangerous is this Hugill sub. I don't like him. Hey, Mirko, thanks for joining us. And thanks again, Alan, indeed. Checking in, Snowboard. We came out like banshees, went up 1-0. We haven't had possession. We've looked better in the start of the second half, but it's just a Rotherham run here nonstop as we look to grab 3 points away and get out of this thing. And Ogonkwo, almost an Olympico. Did Ogonkwo knock that one out? Or was it off the crossbar? We're going for a free kick. That was looking for the Olympico, and Ogonkwo gets up there, and yeah, good save by him as that was dipping below the crossbar, and they'll do it again. Powell, flat service. All their corners have been dangerous, and that one's cleared out by Scar. Well done. Collected, but entered back into the box by Rotherham, headed towards the area. Nambe leaves it for Hugill. Hugill from the goal line, drawn out, and it's cleared out, and it's going to go for a corner again. Yeah. 87 minutes. Go clock, go. Go clock, go. Damn Huskies. Somebody kick Mullen in the groin, please. We just need some luck. Left-footed, in-swinger, flat, near post. Oh, no, it did floated a little bit, that one, and it got headed away, and Mullen got on the wrong side, bounced off the referee. Replayed for Rotherham, and it's down. Hugill, he's been doing well, bounces out off of Barney, and here we go. It's we couldn't get the counter as Lee got caught in his feet. Then he gets pulled down. Mullen draws it forward. McLean, lots of space. Dobson on the run. You can see the wheels turning, but he pulls it back and draws it back and gets it to Lee. Lee dances through three players. Oh, nice little touch, and it's there. Lee, he's got an opener. Oh, it went behind Fletcher on the ball. Barney with it. Rathbone. Oh, I tried to find Mullen loose. TOC runs in and blasts it off of a defender, and now just settle it down, boys. Settle it down. We got possession. We got possession, guys. Draw it back. That's not in our DNA. Not in our DNA. Rathbone with it. Up to the right-hand side. Barney. Cross service. Headed up and out. McLean, can he chase onto it? Can't, and it's cleared forward, and we're going to collect it again. There is no play with our along the back line and just maintain control. Lee gets it into Fletcher, tries to turn and kick, but it gets cleared away. And Rotherham looking to advance it forward. EOC says, no, I like possession. We're coming forward. Barney able to keep it in 18-yard box, and it's knocked out. And just as Barnsley goes up 2-1 on Blackpool, and there's a red card to Stockport in their match. They're tied, yes, still 1-1. 89 minutes. We'll find out here. 5 minutes of added time, 6 minutes of added time. Barney with it off the throw in. He played a little catch with Rathbone. Rathbone draws it forward, and Dobson has it. Dobson sees Fletcher far post, gets it to him, but off the chest, and he's offside. Really? All right. Even without the goal, this is wonderful control of the clock, and I will take it. Not the normal strategy of kicking it around with the center backs and forcing the press and trying to eke over in a counter. We just put our head down and said, we're coming at you and see if you guys can stop us. Header missed, bounces forward, cleared away. Mullen leaves it for Fletcher, drawn forward. Rathbone up to Mullen. A little bit too far forward. And Mullen chases it all the way forward to Dawson. 90 minutes waiting for the announcement of how much added time. 5 minutes. Barney with it. Dobson bangs it off of a defender. It'll go for a throw, and take your time. Lads, take your time. Barney clearing off the ball with his jersey. See, nobody could ever give us a yellow card for time wasting. That was way too fast. Rathbone able to knock it back there. Rathbone gets it and collects it again. Fletcher back to Rathbone. Rathbone's kind of everywhere right now. Dobson switch. McLean far left side. 30 yards out. Draws it back to TOC. Let that clock go, boys. Dobson with it. Thanks, Pox Doctor. McLean back to TOC and miss-hit strike, and it's just going to go harmlessly to Dawson. What was the point of that one? What I'm trying to find out. It wasn't a return pass to McLean. Didn't have Mullen in front of him, and whether that was just a complete miss-hit, but he gave the ball over. Long ball by Dawson, and it's miss-hit, and it's turned over, and McLean gets it to Mullen, and too far, so we're not going to make it direct. But we've got possession, 18 yards. Mullen waiting for support. He's got Rathbone up. Mullen still with it. Challenged. Throw in against Mullen, and I think that's the right call. I think he tried to go and play it off of Powell, who was running forward, and he missed him. And so it's Rotherham with possession now. Scott Town joining us. If you're eking and you're lurking in the background, Rathbone could have played it, and they give the throw the other way, and Rathbone's like, what the hell? He had the opportunity to play it, and he decided to let it go for the throw, and then they make the throw the other way. So Bramall throws it back. Dawson has it. I'm looking at Parkey, who's on his feet. Well, we're not there yet, Alan. And yeah, I think frustrated was the look. Exasperated was the look, and that was off of Rathbone. As I thought it was going out for our throw, and I don't know why it went the other way. But we are less than 3 minutes, and we're still looking at the coaches, both of them fuming in the box. Bramall playing a little bit of catch, and it gets over to Dawson, and here we go forward. Parkey is chewing the tums for sure. Rotherham with it, right-hand side. Tiehi with it, looking to try and advance it forward. Can't get it, and moves it over to... That's McCart. Bramall, left-hand side. Heavy touch, and so it's just cleared the other way. Well done, but not cleared far enough, and so it's easily picked up there by McCart, who's going to try the right-hand side. Rafferty moves it forward, 18-yard box. Rotherham looking for opportunities to find it in the middle of the box. Tiehi over to Rafferty. Rafferty right-footed into the box, headed away by Dobbs. Was that Rathbone? Rathbone. Mullen up front, leaves it for... Can Rathbone outrun him? He can't. Humphreys. Rathbone, no pace compared to Rathbone. Compared to Humphreys. Mullen led him for him to go and chase it on, but he just couldn't get up there. Was that Rathbone or Dobson? That was Dobson, sorry. Dobson. That was Dobson chasing that down up against Humphreys. And here they go, 18-yard box again. On McLean, into the box, into the area. Falls, tries to draw a penalty. Nothing given. Thank you, referee. Mullen on Humphreys off of his back, but that off of his shins. Tiehi now with it. 18 yards. TOC easily comes in, collects it, bangs it off the defender, and that deserves a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. O'Connor. Comment of the match. I'm going to give it to David again. Kick him in the balls hard before every game. It works. That's got to be the one. It's got to be the one. David's had Parkey may become the first manager's demise to be officially listed as spontaneous combustion. Oh, man. Headed up in the air, bouncing around 30 yards away. Dobson finds it. He pumps it forward. Mullen tries to play it over towards Lee. Doesn't get there. And here comes Rotherham. Last gasp efforts. Headed away. Hungbo grabs it, though. Last chance. Hungbo draws it back to Bramall. Bramall over to Tiehi. Tiehi down 20 yards out. Hungbo 18 yards out. It's got Barney. Another man needs to step out. Cross in. Ogonkwo collects. Lay on it. Take your time. High five. That should be enough. Bramall and Hungbo got their wires crossed on that one, and then the cross just goes to Ogonkwo. The whistle blows, and you can put 3 points on the board. Wrexham takes the win 1-0 over Rotherham. Woo, what a glorious, glorious Saturday. I missed it. As messy as that was, it was spry. That was the word for the day. Man of the match. The Wrexham end is buzzing. You can hear him. Mark's talking about it. It's a glorious day in South Yorkshire. You take 3 points. Put 3 points on the board. Gotta love taking 3 on the road any way you get them. By hook or by crook. I wouldn't call that a smash and grab, but it wasn't the prettiest of performances. But you don't care because, as Thomas says, any win is a good win. Die, hey, you're welcome. Flops and messy, but you'll take the win. And Steven says his heart medication did the work. It's doing work, and it did the work. You'll take it. You'll take it. Mullen opens his account. That'll alleviate the concerns of what do we do with Marriott. EOC was immense. I will take that. EOC was solid. Do we put up the vote? Is it Barnett by default? Is it EOC? Scar? Yeah, I can put Scar up there as well. Scar, EOC.
It was Barnett by a mile. He is now.
Any other nominees?
Yeah. He's the player you can't not have out there. I mean, we got a decent backup goalie. Not that you don't want Okonkwo, because you certainly do. He's much better, but Barney's the only way we get any offense going. We look dead. No opportunities other than Barney.
I get it. No disagreement from me there. The question I have is: do you also put up Ogonkwo, who got a clean sheet and did what he needed to do? And he faced a lot of balls. How many saves did he have? Let's go to the stats.
There was nothing particularly
6 saves, but nothing dangerous. But he still made the 6 saves.
Out, that good shot, but he really could have grabbed it. The punch out caused a corner that could have caused another goal. He's
I get it.
Been a little shaky with sometimes catch as opposed to punch. So,
man of the match, alphabetical order would be Barnett, O'Connell. And I feel like I need to put 5 up, so I'll add Mullen because he did score, and just because Barnett can't win every time, although I don't know who I'd vote for otherwise.
See you later, John.
See you, John. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And so we'll put the poll up there for the man of the match, so John can get a vote in maybe before he runs out, as the Wrexham fans are in full voice. While they're voting there, Brendan, what are your thoughts on the game in the second half? 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, they looked like they were kind of scrambling on defense a couple of times, but you can't be perfect throughout the game. It's on the road. Rotherham has basically been somewhat hot for them so far, right? They have talent. They're a good team. They just haven't put it together for a long enough stretch to get up in the table. So it's a good away win. Like John was saying, you'd be happy to get a point away against a team like Rotherham, which should be a top half team. Those would be good, but to steal a win, it's always a good game, if you're able to do that. And we had a lot of the truly better chances, right? Those crosses were incredible by Barnett. Gave us so many great opportunities. And one of the more difficult ones was the one that Mullen put away early. So,
yeah. Comment. We've already given away the comment of the match, but that one there from Travis Herb deserves comment. Summary: Mullen gets a goal. Albie loses his sibling. And if you've joined us late and you missed and you're wondering why we're making so many references to Mullen taking a shot to the groin, before the game started. I had a bit of a panic moment because Marriott obviously out with his injury, Mullen coming in. And I look on the screen and all I see is Mullen crumpled into a ball with his hands on his head, writhing in pain. And I go, what just happened here? The physio runs out to check on Mullen and just gives him a tap on the back. And I thought, well, that's an awkward reaction for a guy who just is writhing in pain. and the physio doesn't do anything for him. And then Mullen gets up and puts his hands down his shorts and adjusts himself. So pretty clear. Didn't see how he took a shot to the groin, but he took a shot to the groin. And then 18 seconds into the match, he gets a beautiful ball from Barney. The right foot's into the back of the net. And so we'll take it. And so the references have been no kids for Allaby. Everybody needs to groin tap Mullen before the match. It's going to be an ongoing thread, I'm sure. What does that emoji look like? Do I make an emoji for a groin tap? We'll have to look into that one. Let's bring up the stats, and then we'll have a look at the table, and I have an opportunity to stay a little bit. Only I say that because my wonderful wife was up really, really, really late last night, taking care of some of the packing and the cleanup. And my mother is with the two munchkins. And so I've got a little bit of time to chat. If Brendan, you're down for that, we can take an extra 10, 15 minutes. So keep your votes going in and on the polls.
Barry just pointed out that Ollie played like a man with a fresh new contract. I would say he played like a man trying to get a fresh new contract. He was playing super hard.
Yeah, he was all over the place, at least for the first 15, 20 minutes when we were pressing and everything was there. Both squads had opportunities for more goals. The XG, we did come ahead 1.4 to 1.18. We missed that big chance with Elliott Lead. No real big chances in the second half. You had that Mullen opportunity that was a header that was behind him that went to the left. They had the O'Doffin chance in the first half that I think could have been a goal. Other than that, I don't think anything was. Oh, the EOC block. And I can't remember the Rotherham player who took that shot. It came loose on a corner, and it landed onto a Rotherham player. There were three over actually.
Was that EOC or Palmer? Well, EOC did have a good block there, but Palmer deflected one up and when Ogonko was on the ground at the post. Was that Palmer?
Yeah. And the only criticism, if I was to make one of Ogonko, and you can tell me whether you saw it the same way, and it's a thing, whether it's his age, it's his style. He's an impeccable shot stopper, but there are balls that he can go and collect that sometimes he doesn't. And he did today with a couple of punch outs, but there was that one in particular that was like 2-3 yards away from goal on his right post. And he let it fall and hit the ground and was staring at the defense to clear it. And they didn't. And I was like, just go out and call him off and grab the damn thing. But John voted for Mullen because he got his goal. And I get that. Barney with 47%, way up on the numbers on that one. But keep those votes going, and keep the chat going on what your thoughts are. If you are all watching this over on X and you're joining in after, and you're watching this on Twitch, come on over to YouTube. It's easier to take part in the chat. We'll grab you. So the stats are up. Possession 66 to 34. So we much better in the second half. Oddly enough, when you sit there at 34%. I'm more comfortable when we get to that 40-45% range, but at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't matter. You take your 3 points while you're on the road. Not the prettiest performance, but certainly not a match that I can think anyone can say was undeserved. Total shots, they were ahead of us 16 to 13, 6 shots on target each. And as Kim identified halfway through the second half, they'd gone something like 30-40 minutes where they didn't have a shot on target. Their Hungbo, when he came in, on that left-hand side, certainly made things look more dangerous. And I didn't like the corners Powell was serving up. They were dangerous the whole way through. They had 8 corners to our 4, and all of them seemed to create just the right amount of havoc without finding the back of the net. Passes, remember, we were only like 52, I think, accurate passes at the half. Added 100, but only at 64% efficiency. So, like I said, not the most efficient game we've ever played, but enough. It was enough. Their XG, most of it came from set play, where most of ours came from open play. And you go through the more detailed stats. Accurate crosses, 24% for them, 26% for us. Throw-ins were exactly even. Offsides exactly even. They had double the touches in our box, though. But I didn't really feel like any of it was out of. Rafferty had that right footer that went wide. I don't think it would have gone in. I think Ogonko was there. Nambe had that turn that he tried to go and push into the short side. Ogonko was there anyway, and he pushed it wide. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. Interestingly enough, though, only 1 yellow for them and 3 for us. To me, that's a little bit of a shock going through there. Should we bring up the table?
Yes, there we go.
Always fun to look at the table after you end up getting a win. So Birmingham able to take a 3-1 win from Lincoln City. So that pushes Lincoln City down to 7th with a game in hand over us. So Birmingham still 2 points up, still with a game in hand, and only 1 goal behind on the goal differential now that they went up by 2 and we only won by 1. Wickham had the earlier game. They were able to take care of business, and they've got 5 games without a loss as they take out Posh 3-1. And so they've within sniffing distance, same number of games played, or they have a game in hand and their goal differential at 6. So we're still comfortably in the autos, but still got lots of work to do. Mansfield looks like they're still underway and they're losing their game to Stevenage. Oh, it has gone to full time. I'm going to hit the refresh button on my table just to make sure I've got it fully updated.
They lost 1-0.
All the games are over. They lost 1-0. Exeter City, they had the game on Thursday against Shrewsbury, and they were able to equal that one out. So they've been standing there at 19 points for the game. They've got a game in hand over us as well. So the max they can do is 22. They seem to be on a run as well. Huddersfield, they took the win, 3-1 win over Bristol Rovers, to be expected, and so they draw themselves back into the playoff spots anyway. But then they've got Lincoln City behind them with the game in hand. Great start to the day, Giselle. Hey, no problem. Thank you for being here. And yes, Stockport dropping points will make anybody happy. They've now gone hit or miss all the way through 5 games and only 1 win, three draws, only 1 loss, but struggling a bit, Stockport, and starting to lose track of the top of the table. They've got a game in hand. They're sitting at 10, but they're still behind Barnsley, Lincoln, Huddersfield, Exeter, Mansfield, Wickham before they can get up into the autos. Bolton, are they back? 2-1 win, just enough at home over Burton. They were down 1-0 at one point. Oh no, sorry, they weren't. They went up 2-0, and Burton scored in the 66th minute. All the goals there in the 60th minute, 61, 63, 66. Are they back? Bolton, are they making the push? I guess time will tell. Charlton able to get off the schneid. They'd lost 3 in a row when they end up getting a draw at home against Stockport. And then after that, everything sort of carries on. Reading, Blackpool, Peterborough, Rotherham. They're going to run out of runway. We talked about that earlier, right, Brendan? You said 15 games-ish. You start to hit the panic button a little bit and start to worry. But they've played 12 games, so they've played 2 more than some and 1 more than everybody else, other than Peterborough, I think, is the only other team on 12. Oh, Shrewsbury's on 12 as well. But for Rotherham, odd season. I mean, they've got they had points in 4 games in a row before they dropped on this one. What does their schedule look like? I'm just curious going forward and whether they can make a push with what's coming. They've got Leyton Orient on the road. Then they've got Stevenage, which a solid defensive team. Barnsley, Bolton, Crawley, Lincoln City. So they've got opportunities with, you look at
no cakewalk games really there, except for the last one, right? So
Crawley, Northampton.
Yeah, Crawley and Northampton, but everybody else is.
Yeah, and then they wrap up. Well. They wrap up the December schedule over the Boxing Day break with Mansfield on the road, Wigan at home, and then Stockport at home. So that's not an easy run to finalize things, but they've not the toughest schedule, not the easiest schedule to go through. And you just start to wonder if they don't find a way to put some points on the board, all those early moves, all on freeze, but they paid money for them, whether they're going to end up running out of time.
If you look at Huddersfield, that's who we're playing big game Tuesday, right? If you look at their last 5, you see loss, and then the last 2 are wins today, the previous and then today. And you're wondering, when you see 3 losses like that on the board, you're expecting that team's not going to be doing good. And they've been climbing. They're somehow up to 6th now, which – they might, at least on the table, it looks like they have momentum. Obviously, they won the last 2 games, and today was 3-1. So it was just, a solid thumping, but it wasn't home. So hopefully they get all that out of their system, and now Mullen feeling good about not having the pressure of getting that first goal. He's off the schneid. Now they know that they all got to line up and ring his bells before the game, and he should do great Tuesday.
Yes. Upcoming matches for us. I don't think. I mean, we've got Huddersfield coming into our barn, which the next 3 games, our league games, are all big. 4 games, 5 games, 6 games. Jesus. Like, you look around the table, so Huddersfield, Charlton, Mansfield Town, Stockport, Exeter City, who's now up near the top of the table, and Barnsley. Those are all solid clubs before you wrap things up going into the Christmas break with Burton, Cambridge, Bristol, Blackpool, and then Wigan Athletic. These next 6 games, they're going to be whoppers. Huddersfield, as you just were talking about, 2 wins in a row, still up near the top of the table. Charlton, who just took points, and well, I guess they were at home, so they didn't take points on the road. Stockport was away, but they're in the hunt up near the top of the table. Mansfield, who I'm curious to see now that Mansfield, because they had a light schedule and now they're into the teeth of it, whether they're able to hold on, but still a solid club and would love to come into Wrexham and cause some damage. And then Stockport licking their lips after their 5-1 last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Catherine had a good question. This may seem like a dumb question, but why are clean sheets so good? Do we get extra points? No, it's just a definition, same as a shutout, right? It's just the definition of having either a good defensive performance or a combination of good goalkeeping and defensive performance. Whenever you can not, things that can't go bad when you don't allow the other team to score. Not a dumb question, but I wonder if they should. Wonder what would happen if probably ruin the game if you were to give extra points for getting clean sheets, because you'd end up people would play a more defensive style. That would be my take. It would influence the strategy because you'd park the bus more. But yes, I wake up 5 a.m. for work every day, so 6 a.m. for match. 6 a.m. I guess, are you waking up an hour early, or are you in a weird time zone?
No, West Coast, just like you. Well, I guess, no, he's even further away then, right?
Well, yeah, the game starts it's a 7 a.m. kickoff. We're getting close to, and I haven't checked this. The thing to keep in mind too is the UK has their daylight savings at a different time than us, so that's coming up on the 27th. So next week will be the regular 7 o'clock start, and then we're going to be changing our wake up time for I think it's 2 or maybe it's 3 matches where we're going to change the start time. And it doesn't matter because that Wrexham game's a 4:30 in the morning start. Yikes. And then we're back to regular schedule program with 11:45 and 7 a.m.s that go through. So we'll figure that out as we get through it. But I think that's the summary, right? As well as ringing the bells. Mad Al, nice to see you, my friend. Having a celebratory Vindaloo curry tonight. He's hoping for clean sheets in the morning. Just watching that Mullen highlight of the right-footed sweep to try and get it into the left side to the right of Dawson. It didn't get there. Dawson looked good, the former Sheffield Wednesday man. I mean, I don't think he had any opportunity on the first goal for Mullen, but when he was asked upon and got rid of that stupid baseball cap that he was wearing, did much better. We'll never do well when we have too much possession. Seems to be the trend for the season. Where do we go from here? We got to find out. Has anybody heard about Cleworth and his timeline? Do I need to go to Red Passion? I'm West Coast, so I'm Pacific time. Brendan's East time. And so I didn't think there was anybody else that would be further to the left, but that's Foster. I just get some food into him early. The commencement of libations at 7 o'clock in the morning, a little too soon. I'm just trying to see FA Cup no broadcast listed at the moment. And I did go to
Mad Al with
Sportsnet.
a late attempt to win the comic of the match.
Yeah. Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Daylight Saving Time, both of them are where I join. So not looking forward to the 4:30 in the morning one. And I do want to get that. I still have to get the response video to everybody who was the Who Are You when I did it last year and had the critical assessment of their pitch because they couldn't handle 7 millimeters of rain. And I've upset the Mansfield fans. And I'd like to get the counter response. I just don't think I'm going to get an opportunity with all of the renovations that are being done. Matt Al's got tickets for weeks. Good stuff. It's a glorious Saturday. I mean, it's amazing to me how a Welsh football club influences my mood for the weekend. But you end up walking away with 3 points, and even though it's raining outside and we're busy as all hell in the house, it's warm and it's fuzzy. This damn club influences my mood, and when they're at the top of the table or near the top of the table, is it the same for you? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. It makes all the difference in how I go through. What's awful is if it's no Tuesday game or no midweek game, and you go Saturday to Saturday with a bad taste in your mouth. Like a loss that they shouldn't have taken. That's and when they don't play well, those are the tough ones. But this is great. I mean, it not much better. You get a great on the road win, and you have a really important home game to look forward to. Like one of the teams that you'd think is going to be a top 3 team, Huddersfield, at least the beginning of the year, and I still peg them to probably walk their way up to that part of the table. So if we were to give them a loss, just as they start to pick up momentum, that would be a good thing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I was just the rumor on the street is that it's a fibula that's broken, and so the fibula down near the ankle is where they're thinking that happened. So that'll take some recovery time. Somebody did say if you're going to do something around near your ankle, that breaks are better than sprained ankle, like horrifically sprained ankles. So maybe that's good news. I don't know.
Yeah, ligaments don't always heal as well, whereas the bones, especially the big solid bone like that, they can.
Yeah, just take the time. So that's the word on the street. Take it from the rumor mill, as you will. Hi, my son coming in with a lollipop. Come on over. I'll open that up. Brendan, take over, and you can chat about that as I'm just going to hold this guy. Say hi to everybody that you can't see.
Hi.
If you haven't joined Last Minute Chance, you hit the like button before you leave. That would be exceptional. Hit the subscribe button if you get the chance. If you're over on Twitch or Twitter, come on over to YouTube and say hi. At the Red Horde is where you go. Well, I have the opportunity and I've got ears. Special thank you again to Ultimate Promotions, who, man, I can't get this thing out. Ultimate Promotions, who makes this ad-free for everybody. There you go. That's how we all feel right now. Oh, go have fun. Give a hug to Yaya. Whoopsies. Ultimate Promotions. Ad-free. All season. If you're looking for pins, ultimatepromotions.com, ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. You can Google them at Ultimate Promotions. They'll do the artwork for free. They will. The shipping is free. Chat with them and get it figured out. And yes, I heard he tripped on a sprinkler that didn't get sunk into the pitch. That's frustrating. Patrick, appreciate it. Thanks to and to everyone in the chat for the comedy hour. I'm still I look forward to the community. Like it's the oddest thing. This whole journey started with me being like, I'm going to watch the game anyway. Maybe I'll be bored. I'm going to learn about these clubs. Maybe I'll put together some videos. I'm a lawyer and I don't understand the rules. I'm going to look into it. And we're approaching 2,400 subscribers. And we're damn close. damn close to 2,400 subscribers, 2.39 if I end up going to find out exactly what that live count is. You guys might be able to get me to 2,400 today with a couple of subscribes. So come on over and do that if you haven't. Matt from the Racecourse Ramble confirmed while at the game today. Yeah, and I've heard that from others that was the discussion, was that it was an unretracted sprinkler, and Parky just made it official. So.
Yeah, that's more upsetting, really, because it's inexcusable. I don't know the official thing, but I would presume that someone walks the pitch prior to them coming out and checking for all of that, making sure there's nothing that they can slip on or get hurt on and stuff like that. Shoot, you do that if you're going to mow your own lawn. You go out and go, hey, did anything fall anywhere before I just come blazing out here, right? I mean,
right.
These you're paying a lot of money. This is an important thing. You check the field beforehand. Who didn't walk the field? Who didn't spot a sprinkler standing out? That's just inexcusable, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it was at the training ground and it wasn't at the race course where they were doing the. Yeah, so and I just had another pop up. It's interesting. I have Wrexham pop ups that come from different sources that tell me the news, and so Matt just typed out on Discord that Stace had heard that it was from a unretracted sprinkler head. So that's the news. And yeah, subscribe. My youngest getting an adorable run. I have 2 exceptional kids, and Jason, what do you think of that, being back in Canada? I'm curious, after the hangover of being in Wrexham for 2 matches, seeing 8 goals, and then you come over and they get a 1-0 away win. How's the hangover, the Wrexham hangover doing? And I've got to send you something still. I haven't forgot, just been busy. So, no, Moles is not a bad replacement. Still not 100%, but he will get there, and I get that. And no, Susan Marriott, he's out. I've heard rumors of 4 months for his fibula to heal, having snapped it. And the question that everybody's asking is, why is the pitch not double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked to make sure that sort of thing doesn't happen? But we've lost our leading scorer. Mullen came in and did his job, but that's the frustrating news. At the end of the day, the good news is we got 3 points, and you can imagine could have been the inverse if there would have been a loss today. And a performance that was bad, we'd be like, without our leading scorer, Mullen maybe not off the schneid. What are we going to do? We just don't look good. Big questions were answered today.
Yeah, it couldn't have been any better of a start, right away, and it kept them fired up. I mean, like, it was if you wrote the script, right? Like, this keeps happening over and over and over again, where things set up for the perfect show drama. Like, I'm sure they'll hype that up in the next season, right?
Yeah, for sure. Good point by Don on the question from Catherine earlier about the benefit of a clean sheet. Is you do get a benefit from it because it's 50% of the goal differential. So if you add clean sheets, not only is it you're guaranteed, if you have clean sheets all the way through the season, of never losing a point. You'll get a point, at least one in every match, and you only have to score 1 to get 3. But yes, on the goal differential, your goals against would look amazing.
Yeah. So just to be clear, goal differential is the second tiebreaker. So it's not like a lot of American sports where it's head to head. If you're tied with someone, they go to the overall goal difference in all the games you played. So winning by multiple goals, you should always pile on when you can, and you should always let in as few as possible, because that's the second tiebreaker come the end of the year to determine whether or not you make the playoffs or get promoted or get demoted.
I talked about earlier potentially having or being excited and expecting Fall and Revan to come in as subs. We didn't use one of our sub windows. We only made the 2 subs. Fletcher came in and Rathbone came in for Cannon. Your thoughts on, was it because it was a 1-0 game and we wanted to make sure we got the 3 points, so we leave the veterans out there to try and close the door? Was there an opportunity lost? I mean,
I think so. The thing that made me think that, I've noticed that a lot of teams seem to use those substitutions as a time waster, right? And I think he was probably gonna be putting Fall in or somebody else in, and when we went on that mini pressure towards the end of the game, where we had a bunch of then chances, and it in and of itself was a great time waster. I think at that point he was like, "Oh wait a minute, these guys are clicking." You know, like when everyone was pressured back, sometimes the only way you can relieve that pressure, every time the defense gets the ball, they clear it out, and then immediately they're back in your zone again, and you're parking the bus. You use those substitutions to get the ball free and get your guys a break and everyone gathered, right? He didn't have to do that because we got that pressure up ahead. And maybe also, like, you want to think about if there's going to be, how much extra time and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he was probably thinking that way, but then checked himself when we started with it again.
Yeah, it's. I can't even remember where I was because I got all distracted. You said free agent, or somebody started talking about stuff, and I started licking my lips and looking things up as far as who might be available.
Yeah, Woody, all excited. I've heard someone else say that. Someone said that or I don't think it was Woody, but someone else early on said, okay, if it is a break and he's out 4 months, looks like we'll be spending big bucks at the mid-year break. I would say, and you've talked about this as well, I didn't know what they were going to do, especially if they were playing well. And people had suggested, do you start doing what Birmingham's doing and presume that you're going to be in the championship and start overpaying for players that would definitely be, your starters in the next league up. And I was like, no, you don't want to bring it in and rock the boat and then force guys that were gelling out of the lineup and substituting in new players and then having that pay differential. But with Marriott being hurt, Mullen could easily take a ding, and then where are you at? You have your stand-up guys. I don't think Fall substitutes for Mullen. We really don't have another player. Lee did that, but again, he's starting to look gassed already,
Mm-hmm.
And not as productive in League One as he was, on the ball in League Two. So yeah, we never got that big name that I think the majority of people thought we needed up front. All summer we were thinking we're going to spend big. We never did for a striker, and now we can again. Now we can start this touch again.
As I have the little one coming back out again. Thank you for this. I appreciate it. I was just looking.
The Red Passion sites now with Marriott going down will be crazy about trade rumors, right? And signings again, transfers.
Well, there are options. There are options. I mean, there's a name that's been kicking about that I was looking at as a transfer for a while, and I thought he's probably looking for a bigger club. He didn't sign. He was rumored he was going to be going to the Turkish top league. Is Isaac Success? I mean, he will cost a lot of money. 28-year-old, and I was looking into him earlier, and it didn't look like he would fail a plonker test. He was one of the few free agents, but I thought, wait, maybe too much money. He did play for Watford, so he's got some English experience up until 2021, and then he went out and he played in the Serie A for 79 games, but didn't score. 4 goals in 79 games, but as a forward isn't good enough. But he was in Serie A, so I thought, okay, if he's got to take a step down, how far down does he go? 28 years of age, does he look at an up and coming club? But I looked at him as when Ford didn't join and we had an opening, and I thought, if we were to add another striker, who would that be? He was a name that came up, and the other one, Kemar Roof. Played with the Rangers, and he's older, I believe, 31. Those are options that are there that are available as free agents that we could go out and get. For Kemar Roof, 26 goals in 63 games up until the end of last season. and he played Leeds United for 111 games, and he played at Oxford United. So he's been into it, but he's the lowest level that he's been in was League Two when he was there with Oxford United back in 2015. So it's been a while. But if he's not going to be playing in the Prem, he only had 15 games last season. What do you do? 4 years ago, he was scoring at a clip, 14 goals in 24, then 10 goals in 21, and then injuries. And that was the issue with him. Do you take an injury-prone Kemar Roof? Do you take an Isaac Success? Do you pay them the money? I don't know. Does it smack of desperation? And is the Ronaldo rumor still rolling? What'll that cost you? But for me, I would have liked to have seen Mo Fall come into the game, even though we had the lead. And talk about something, I mentioned it. Usually when you're up by one, it's the strategy in League One and League Two is you park the bus and you defend. That's not what we did. We looked best when we were on our front foot, when we had the possession and we were forcing them to clear and our center backs were collecting the ball and then pumping it back forward again. Not our style to sit back, I guess.
So what do you see Fall as then? Do you see him as so we don't really have with Marriott down, I don't think we have a Mullen replacement, right? So that means Mullen has to go every game, the whole game. Right? He can't screw around, he can't be diving, and he can't be kicking guys and biting guys and ending up on the bench, right?
It wasn't a bite.
Right. Like he's got to eat before the game, so he's not hungry, like he's not in a bad mood. I don't know. It worries me because I see the combination of a Palmer Fall pairing as being horrendous, like just getting nothing done. Other than corners, I mean, we'd kill on corners, but trying to make something happen up the middle, we were already talking about this. There's no one carrying the ball up the middle. Lee hasn't been. He's looked fine at midfield, but he hasn't been as effective as an attacking midfielder, right? Like last year, he was able to put up goals from the midfield. He looked fantastic on the ball. Like you said, he'd turn and then snap off an amazing shot. We're not seeing any of that. And the only offense we're seeing is coming from the wings. And, right now it's only Barney. And does that mean we got to get Revan in the game more and find something else to do with McLean? Maybe. But fall in for Marriott or Mullen, I don't think is going to be the answer. He may be the two guy, the stand-up guy, but not the other guy, not the guy.
I like Fall for his raw talent, and like he's pacey and he's a big body, and I think he's got enough control that he will be good and potentially great eventually. At the moment, though, what is the weakest part of Mo Fall's game? And it's his first touch to me. His passing's a little bit behind quite frequently as well. But he was much better in the last game, but his first touch isn't there. And when you look at Palmer and Fletcher, what's the best part of their game is positionally they're big bodies that get there and they're able to frame ball and maintain possession. But it's because they have such a delicious first touch, and Fall's not there. And so I think that's the skill set that he needs to learn and pick it up. But I'm with you. I don't think he's a sub for Mullen. And so we would need to bring somebody in, whether we wait until January to do it, whether we do it now. Matt Al brought up Memphis Depay. He's under contract with Corinthians. And I think when does the Brazilian league actually end?
Well, to that point, I was starting to get to the point I thought you'd jump on it, which is we've got a backup at every position, or we did have a backup at every position except really for Lee, right?
Right.
We didn't have, like, you saw it today, Dobson coming forward, he doesn't want to try to take a shot. Neither does Rathbone. Cannon does, but Cannon isn't that on the ball tricky guy. Like he finds his way into opening spots. He pairs well on the right side with Barney. They have a good, back and forth. They know what each other's going to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Lee gets dinged up, he got tired out last year. You need something to give Lee a break, and we don't have it that I know of. Now we signed somebody that could be, the young kid that they signed from what Premier League team was he on?
But he didn't even, and I heard it might be injury related. Adam Josh or Josh Adam.
Thank you. Yes.
Adam Josh.
If he's not going to do it, not only do you need something to, a champion level striker in the Mullen spot, you're going to need. I think they got to go get two, and they got to get someone to help Lee out.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, and it was brought up by Matt Al. It was brought up on my pop up about the sprinkler. Is 4 months is Marriott potentially gone for the season? And Kim highlighted that, sorry, and it popped up on another discussion point on a Discord server. The what do you do? And I talked about this when Marriott was still healthy. Can Wrexham play itself into a circumstance where it compels the ownership to open up the piggy bank in January during the January window? And I asked that question because the way that, again, the SCMP, the salary cost management protocol, which is the financial rules for League One and League Two, are very different than the financial rules as it affects the championship. The championship has a 3-year rolling average for losses, and they don't count the leagues when the seasons when you're the league below, which is why Birmingham spent as much money as they did, because it's not going to count as far as their expenses once they move up to the top of the league, right? They get to refresh their 3 years. So for Wrexham, if we are going to go up, do we open the piggyback and then do we just wait for the January window and then, load up? Do we look to get a free agent, whether that's Isaac's success, whether that's it can't be Memphis Depay because he's under contract in Brazil and they're only 15 games into their season. Could it be a Kemar Roof? Could it be somebody else as far as free agent strikers go, there's probably only a dozen of them around the world, and not a lot of them with UK experience. And some of them are going to be too rich for us. So do we, who do we find? I was trying to find an English flag, and you got to go all the way down to 23-year-old Tyler Bury. Well, I'm assuming if he's 23 and unsigned, nobody wants him in this league.
We've kind of almost talked about this a couple of times, that they don't take a lot of players out of South and Central America.
Yeah.
And you could see a lot of those players being quite effective in the 7-on-7 over the summer, which you didn't get to see, where they're just incredible on the ball in a small space. But once the physicality comes into play, they're not able to hold up. And the thought is that those types of players, the smaller in size but better on the ball, can't hold up on average for a full season. If you're thinking Mullen's okay and you're bringing in someone for the last 20 minutes of a game or last 15 minutes of a game, or you only occasionally have to play them, when Mullen's hurt or needs a break, you could go with one of those players that brings a dimension to the game that English football doesn't see a lot of. Those extremely tricky on-ball players. At least they don't see that in the lower leagues, right? And you might be able, like you said, to get someone from Central South American leagues that can give a different look, a different pace to the game. And that would be a good sub to, pair with Faal or somebody.
Let's go get Maxi Gomez from the Uruguayan national team.
Yeah.
I mean, Hull City was apparently looking at him a month ago. He's without a club. There are options, and who knows what people will do and where they want to go. I mean, for Maxi Gomez coming down to a League One squad, very different than his battles that he had previously, and a Uruguayan international playing in Wrexham would be something else. But if you're going to go out into the market, and I keep saying the one thing that my biggest frustration with Parky is, and with the club, is we don't use the free visas. We get two sports persons visas that you can go out and get somebody who hasn't qualified for enough points, and it's like a free.
Take a flyer. I absolutely agree. You sign them to a 1-year deal, or finish off the season with some option to pick up or something, and give it a shot.
Yeah, and so I don't know whether there's somebody, say for example, in the USL or the CPL or that's young, that you give that opportunity to, and whether you can trust them or not. And what if you're going to sign Josh Adam, who Matt Al says played last week, so maybe rumor, if my memory serves, it was that he had a bit of a knock, and so maybe he's getting fired up and warmed up and could come in. Who knows? But I like the idea of going and taking the flyer, and I don't know if serious on. I mean, I love Ollie Palmer, and he's been a great soldier. And he played exceptional today, especially in the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. And the character and all that sort of stuff. To me, I don't see Ollie Palmer having a role on a championship side for Wrexham. One more year, I think, is. I haven't heard the terms, but it could be opportunity as much off the pitch and transitionally as much as it is, and a reward as it is based on performance. But his extension wasn't one that made me jump up and down and be like, oh, thank God. Like
I wasn't. I was actually not happy with that, but because it worried me about what their plans are, or are they strangely like. Did they make that move after Marriott went down, and then they're like, oh no, they're forecasting us being stuck in League One for a while, and Palmer's suitable in that, helps keep chemistry. Okay, we better go sign Palmer now. Was that a reaction to the Marriott injury? Because it just seems strange to me. It just seemed like that was the guy I was thinking we needed to swap out coming into this year more than anybody else. And to see them sign him again for 2 more, can't believe he'd be useful in the next league up.
Was it 2 more? I thought it was only 1. To the end of 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
All right. I was fine with a year. 2 is also a little bit ickier. But look, I love the guy. I get the opportunity. If the terms are right, and it doesn't necessarily mean that he makes the squad list in 2 years. It could be just a reward for his service, 32 years of age. He's got to be thinking what happens in the future. So who knows? We'll see. And that doesn't mean
Wimbledon or something. Right?
Yeah. There's opportunities there, and so it could just be the hey, thanks. That's what we do, and we're good with our players. 25. This year's 24, 25. Oh, it is one. The 25, 26 is next year, so it's a 1-year extension, which is more palatable. I'm okay with it. It doesn't make me happy, but I'm okay with it. And for him, I'm on a personal level, I'm ecstatic at getting the opportunity to get paid for an extra year to be a footballer. And to be with a club that he's put in time and he's done well, and he's been a leader, so I'm good with that. Palmer's announcement was a day ago, was yesterday, wasn't it? I think it was yesterday. I think I saw it at work.
Yeah, so they probably did the deal started talking Wednesday, did the deal Thursday, announced it Friday, right?
Yeah. So that's all interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting time off of the pitch, right? Cop announcements are out there, changes to that whole setup, which I haven't really dove into yet. You've got Marriott, who's injured, and what does that mean does that mean we're recalling on Dalby, which was kind of the chat that was up here about what Matt Al saying that somebody looks like Dalby moves like he's towing a caravan. There might be some truth to that.
He's also a guy that looks to pass first when he gets the ball in the box, which he does a great job at, but he's not a goal scorer.
No.
He's not, other than set pieces, he's not typically the guy that's making it happen.
Who's the CPL's leading scorer? Maybe I make a push for that. For that player. I don't know. There's got to be somebody. But thanks, Matt Al for staying here and hanging with us. Probably wrap it up here in about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to pull the man of the match goes to Barnett, which was probably appropriate. I'm curious of how the other votes eked out. So let me close this poll down and have a look at that. I got to go to the right thing. Don't mind me while I'm clicking around. Just a good, ugly day. That's my walk away from this one. It was a good, ugly day. Man, where did I go? I got rid of all my links, and I can't do a damn thing.
The only thing we were lacking is that their gaffer wasn't there to flip out, because this was certainly the game for him to do it. I mean, I can just imagine him not wanting to shake Parky's hand and chasing the ref around, and after all the flopping they did and calls they didn't get in the first half. So that would have been interesting, those theatrics.
The poll was closer than I thought. 42% went to Mullen.
They wanted to give him it because it was first goal. I get it.
First goal, yeah, I get it. Yeah. God, where do we go from here? Ruben Del Campo. That's who. Go and sign a young guy from. I haven't even looked up where the guy's from. Ruben Del Campo. Ooh. Swiss. Interesting. 24-year-old Swiss player who an Atletico Madrid product through the youth system, so has some capacity, and he led the league in scoring and is a Swiss U20 international. I don't know if he's still under contract and how long it would be, but he led the CPL.
We have open spots now, right? But it
just has to be a free agent, and that's where the challenge is. And so, who are you looking at for free agents?
Yeah,
you're looking for, and I'd have to check the timeline as to when MLS, because the MLS and the CPL are wrapping up shortly, as to when you are legally allowed to bring them over for end of contract, and whether that means it has to be in the January window for those that are under contract. There's other players that are free agents. I mentioned Isaac Success. I mentioned Kemar Roof. So they're still there. I don't see Max Gomez from Uruguay would be the other option, but they're all 28 plus players, right? That are out of contract and have been for a while. And I haven't looked up other players. There's some that are younger that usually, if they're here listed and they're out of contract while being, in their mid-20s or something, it's usually because they failed a Plonker test, sniffing gas in the car and got caught for it, or sexual assault investigations and that sort of stuff. I mean, this guy, he's listed as a free agent, but I went to his wiki and he just signed for the Chinese Super League. He's been there for 3 years, so probably unlikely to go and grab him because he's mid-season over there. So even some of them aren't even listed, but there are 4 or 5 players that would be great options as free agents, but they would cost us a pretty penny, and I don't know whether they want to come to us.
Now that I think about it, the Asian leagues, you don't see many players below championship coming from the Far East. I wonder it's probably like not worth it unless they're making enough money, right, to come uproot themselves and go to England. But there might be a lot of talent there. We just don't hear about it.
Well, there
2 guys on Birmingham are awesome.
Japan and Korea get a lot of play in the English league, but there's an expectation that for the players that have National League aspirations or are in the National League, that League One is too low down, and that's been the whole discussion that was happening with Birmingham's player Peck Sung-ho. I had to get the rest of his name. Peck Sung-ho. He's a Korean international, and when Birmingham got relegated from the championship, there was a sort of an uproar in Korea about, well, he's got to come out then because we can't have a national team player playing in League One. That's too low of a level for him to develop and grow. And there's been a bit of a push for him to leave, or there was a push for him to leave Birmingham. He obviously elected to stay. And that, to be fair, I didn't look up his contract and whether he was obligated to stay. But we would have to be selling our rise and relying on that, I think, to pull anybody out of Japan or Korea. But who knows? I mean, there are options, is all I'm saying, and I've been clicking around to try and find out who other ones are. So far, I'm really limited on Isaac's Success and Imar Roof is the two that.
Well, between now and the break, don't you most likely who do you think is going to be the toughest opponent? Huddersfield and Charlton, right? I mean, we have both of those back to back. If we can do well there, I'm not saying that playing Stockport and Mansfield and Lincoln, presuming we make that up soon, that any of those are a cakewalk. I'm not saying that, but those are slightly more winnable games to me than is potentially Huddersfield. And we got Huddersfield at home. The Charlton one, like I said, I'm not thinking. I'm thinking it's awesome if we come away with a point there. If we can do well in these next two games, we should be able to finish fairly strong points wise. We should be able to somewhat match what we've done. So I would expect that we're near the top come December and the end of December, and then. Yeah, I mean, how do you not spend at that point?
No, I'm with you. It'll just be getting to January, right? Another name to throw out there. I mean, I'm talking pipe dream, big ticket items, like that sort of stuff. There's a South African striker that's out there, Lebo Motiba. He left his League One squad again, similar to Isaac's Success. Played in top leagues, didn't score a lot in them, ended up, League One, not doing it, Serie A, whatever, not scoring a lot of goals, and then trying to find another club to go to and not finding one that they were happy with. There were rumors he was going to go to the Belgian Pro League. He hasn't signed with them. Is it too far down? Are these guys too prideful? And they say, I was with a Serie A or a League One squad. I'm going down to League One in the
Wrexham.
EFL.
Like, this is world-renowned Wrexham now, right?
Yep. Is the off-the-pitch recognition and the project and the growth and opportunity of Wrexham and its ability to climb the ladder and to make yourself similar to what Mullen and now Ogonkwo.
There's no way that we'd sign our first international and it not be featured in the documentary, right? So if you're going, we can't be in League One because it's not prestigious enough for our player, you're going to be getting, a time devoted to how great that player is and if they're on a national team and where they're from. And like, they're getting a nice 20-minute package on the documentary to talk about them. And I don't know, I think that should equal out any trepidation they have of dropping to League One, knowing that we're on that trajectory.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and there will be players who see that, and there will be players who don't. Right, there will be players who see the opportunity, the off-field, the off-field coverage, the on-the-pitch opportunity, and that's what I mean. You take a look at Elliot Lee and Paul Mullen and the guys who signed up and went down to Tozer, that went down into the National League on the mission to end up climbing the ladder to get to at least League One and then carry on with that opportunity. There will be players potentially out there that will say Wrexham has an opportunity to be at least a championship, if not a Prem team at some point in time. Do I want to join this club and be that person? It's at 28 years of age, 31 years of age. Do you make that decision and you go and you do it? There are certainly, Foster did it, Scar did it. Like, there are teams that come down to take that opportunity. Will that happen for now these big strikers? I guess time will see. Operation for Marriott is on Monday, according to Fearless and Devotion. Good stuff. And Birmingham has two. Yes.
We've been talking about trying to get like the young guys, right? But with Marriott down and no real replacement, if you can get someone that is like Fletcher, and what I mean is that kind of Premier League quality,
like top level quality,
right? But not at the Fletcher Mullen position. Sorry, the Fletcher Palmer position, but at the Mullen Marriott position. If you can get a former Premier League player that can go all out for 20 minutes or something like that, or a game every 3 weeks, right? You can play large minutes in, then rent a guy, please. Like pay him for 2 years if that's what he wants. But overpay, get that kind of talent in there, and think about that having a Fletcher and some other ex-Premier League guy. Like, again, I don't think he gets talked about enough. We clear the ball long over to Fletcher, and he's the only one on the pitch. Both teams that can catch the ball like that with their chest, drop it right onto their foot with their body already turned, ready to do something with it. Like, he had his back to the goal. He catches a high, long, difficult cross, drops it at his foot, and he's ready to go. Like, that we don't have that quality, and it's just beautiful to see, even turning into goals. It's
I'm just looking mid-season loan options too to see if that's always an opportunity. Look, I'm sure that the guys are on it. They'll figure it out. We know that we're missing a premier player that's important.
Yeah. Is there anyone in Cardiff? All the teams that are tanking that are definitely going down? Like
somebody who's not playing a Prem 2 player.
Yeah.
Right. You got a 22, 23-year-old rock star who, a team says, yeah, if they're going to get minutes playing with Wrexham in League One, that's going to be better than the experience you're going to get in League Two. Maybe that's an opportunity as well. I would have to look up because, to be fair, because Parkey doesn't do loans, I haven't looked up the time period, and maybe somebody in the chat can help out. I haven't checked the keyboard is shaking my car. Oh, sorry. I'll be later on the keyboard. I haven't checked the regulations on the loan rules and with the timing of them to find out whether you can go mid-season outside a window for loan options or not.
He has to fill that position, though. He has to fill somebody. And if he can't get a long-term option, then he's got to get the best short-term finish the season option, right? Yep. Like he has to. So this would be the time for him to move outside of his comfort zone and rent a 5-month player, right? Like now's the time if you can't get that long-term guy.
I do not disagree. I'm going to look to wrap things up. I've got to go out and pick up bits and bobs for the place and go and have a look at the renovations. Maybe for the game on Tuesday, I might send you a couple of photos of the place, which was originally built in 1980 and still had the glorious mirrors with the brown etching into them. And it was like walking into a time machine. It reminded me of my grandma's house. And it's been gutted, and we want to go have a look. So I'm going to go and do that as the boys are getting restless. Any final thoughts from you?
No, again, great 3 points to get away. Now, if we can just nail the Huddersfield at home, Charlton will just be a bonus no matter whatever happens in Charlton. So, excited for Tuesday.
Indeed. Upwards and onwards and away we go. Thank you to everybody for joining. If you're over on Twitch and you're over on Twitter, just as we wrap things up, jump over onto YouTube and hit the subscribe button. You'll get the notifications of when we're on and other videos that we do when I have the opportunity to do them. I've got 3 weeks left until we're settled into the new place and all this packing and nonsense and renovation stuff is over. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Ultimate Promotions, for sponsoring ad-free. Go and check them out if you get the chance. ultipromo.com, ultimatepromotions.biz. Take a look at the pins, take a look at the medals, take a look at the badges, see what you guys do. Thank you to other Vince, to D. Foster, to John, Kim, everybody for staying as long as you did. W and G for keeping us up to date with the scores. And to you, Brendan, for holding down the fort on the production side to make sure that this happens each and every day and week. And I guess I also have to get you a timeline for the trophy match tomorrow for the women so that you have a link. That one will start early. And there's my contractor. I'm going to have to take this.
All right. Say goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye.